extra flavor and mildness. Remember, there's more to a white owl than just smoke. And by Tipperillo, with flavor you don't have to inhale to enjoy. And by Atlantic and your Atlantic dealer. Just see what's going on at your favorite Atlantic station. That new modern sign out front is only one of the exciting changes. Drive in and get acquainted with the lively new look of Atlantic. This is Bob Delaney welcoming you to New York Yankee baseball. And now in a moment, Red Barber, Jerry Coleman, Joe Garagiola, and Phil Rizzuto to bring you all the action.
The temperature is 64. It's not bright, not beautiful, it says here. So our weatherman is a little bit poetic. It's an overcast day, but it's the kind of a day that ball players really like to play on a day like today because you have just enough overcast to cut the glare down. You're not going to have any problems with any losing the ball in the sun. And it's kind of a cool day here. A one sweatshirt day would be the way the late Doc Weaver would put it. And it'll be Al Downing pitching for the New York Yankees. And Dean Chance is the pitcher for the California Angels. Looks like another good crowd on hand here. And we've got a lineup change as far as the Angels are concerned. Jerry Coleman has the lineup down on his card. And while he gives them, we'll take them down from him. Jerry?
Okay, Joe, we'll take a look at the Yankees first, who will be coming to the plate in this ball game to face Dean Chance in just a few moments. Roy White is in left field, leading off. Bobby Richardson at second base, batting second. Mickey Mantle in center field, hitting third. Mantle in center, batting third. Pepitone in the cleanup spot. He'll be at first base. Playing third and batting fifth, Tommy Tresh.
Number 26.
Roger Maris in right field will hit sixth.
Jack Warner.
Playing shortstop, batting seventh, Clete Boyer. Elston Howard will be behind the plate. He'll bat eighth, and Al Downing will pitch and bat ninth. For the California Angels, leading off and playing third base, Paul Shaw. Shaw at third. Bobby Knopf will be at second base. He'll bat second. Jim Fregosi will be the shortstop. He'll hit third. Rick Reichert in left field. He's been playing center the last two games. He'll be in left field today. He'll bat fourth. Reichert,
Center fielder.
batting cleanup, playing left. Jack Warner in right field. He'll hit fifth. Norm Seaburn will be at first base, batting sixth. In center field and hitting seventh, Jose Cardinal. Cardinal in center,
Number 7.
batting seventh.
The catcher.
Bob Rogers, the switch-hitting catcher, will be behind the plate, hitting eighth. And Dean Chance, fireballing, sinker ball right-hander, will pitch and he'll bat ninth. The batteries, once again, for the Yankees, Howard behind the plate, and Downing to do the pitching.
Number 31.
For the Angels, Rogers will catch and Chance will pitch. For those of you who may not have had the results of the action yesterday in both the American and the National, we'll read it off to you right now. Last night, here in Anaheim, California, the Yankees snapped a 4-game losing streak, and at the same time snapped a 4-game winning streak by the Angels. The Yankees winning it 3-1 behind Fritz Peterson, the rookie left-hander. The Indians came up with 6 runs in the top of the ninth inning to beat the Orioles last night, 6-3. Minnesota over Boston, 6-4. Chicago shut out Detroit, 1-0, and Kansas City took the Washington Senators 5-2. In the National League, Philadelphia beat Pittsburgh 7-3. The Dodgers clobbered Cincinnati 14-2. Chicago edged the Mets 3-1. Last night, Houston beat Atlanta 3-0, and the Giants ran all over the St. Louis Cardinals 15-2. This is New York Yankee baseball. Let's pause briefly for station identification.
WOKO Radio, Albany, New York.
Okay, we gave you the results yesterday in the American and the National. Let's take a look at the action on the scoreboard today. In the American League first, a single game at Kansas City, Washington playing the Kansas City A's in Kansas City. Ortega against Talbot. That game has not yet started. In the first of a doubleheader, Boston leads Minnesota 2-1 after 4.5. Wilson against Cott. Another doubleheader being played at Chicago. Another tight pitcher's battle between Detroit and the White Sox. It's 1 apiece after 6.5. Aguirre against Portland. Freehan homered for Detroit in the third. First game of a doubleheader. The Orioles 6, the Indians 2. Siebert and Palmer going at it. Blefrey hit one in the first for Baltimore. In the National League, Cubs lead the Mets 3-1 with the Mets batting in the bottom of the ninth. Stewart hit one for the Mets in the second inning. Ellsworth against Hamilton. That's the first of a pair. The rest of the National League, all single games. At Houston, the Braves lead the Astros 1-0 after 1.5. Pittsburgh 3, Philadelphia 2 after 7.5. L.A. and Cincinnati are scoreless after 3.5. Osteen against O'Toole. San Francisco continuing the heavy hitting. 9-5 over the Cardinals after 7. Hart and McCovey have homered for the Giants. McCarver and Skinner for the Cardinals. That's the action as we have it in both the American and the National up to the minute. Here at the brand new Anaheim Stadium, where the Angels and the Yankees will be getting underway shortly, we have another fine crowd. The crowd today will not match the crowd last night. Last night, 42,851 came to watch the Yankees and the California Angels, and they had turned away an estimated 10,000 people. They packed this place. There was hardly a seat to be seen or an area that wasn't being stood in or sat in throughout the entire activity last night. This ballpark, because it's located in Anaheim, which is in Orange County, is almost entirely in orange. The lower deck of seats and the mezzanine and the upper deck are all in varied orange colors, from dark to light as you go up the first deck, mezzanine, and into the upper deck. And out over the left center field fence, they have this huge A-frame. And at the top of the A-frame, the apex, they have a circle. And that's the halo representing the California Angels. And it's quite a scoreboard, really. They have down lower near the base, they have the scoreboard itself with the Yankees and the Angels and all of the information as to the lineup and the ball, strikes out, and so forth. But I don't know where you'll find a prettier ballpark in this country. They have one in Chavez Ravine that the Dodgers play in. This one here in Anaheim, just about 50 miles apart. We're about 40 miles south of Los Angeles and about 100 miles north of San Diego. And, Joe, I'll tell you, it's unusual this time of year. You know, this overcast and the haze that you see now is known as an Oregon mist to the California natives. It missed Oregon and hit California.
Jerry, you did a great job for the Chamber of Commerce out here. Last night you were talking about the population, how great it is in this Orange County and Blue County and Red County and all of them that are all out here and how they're going to... You're all right. You're their kind of guy, I'll say that for you.
You know, we prune pickers have to stick together.
You do a pretty good job. Jerry, I was interested in asking Ralph Houk just one question today. I said, Ralph, how'd you feel physically? The emotional strain, which was just so great yesterday, both on Ralph and on Johnny Keane. You could see it, and there he was today. And he said that pacing up and down the dugout, he had to get his legs in shape. He could feel it today.
The umpire.
And then Mantle was telling me, he said, you should have seen that Houk after the game. He said he's got that habit. They have
Second base, Bill
red clay and a warning track, and Ralph has the habit of picking up scoopfuls of dirt and flicking it out. And then when he'd go to give a sign, rubbing it across his cap or his shirt, where the dirt would stay on. And by the ninth inning, you would have thought that he was just rolling around in the dirt, so to speak. He was all red clay all over him. And, of course, he's a tobacco chewer, which is something that he just could not do when he was a general manager talking contracts. And so he's got the big wad going as he walks up to home plate now. But strangely enough, Jerry, he said that he felt real strange walking into the manager's office before the game. He said that even though you say you'll never forget how to put your uniform on, he was just had a real strange feeling.
Yeah, you would have to. After all, Ralph has been out of the so we say, the field talk for a little over 2 years, and things change. You get a different feel. Now you're back into an atmosphere that you think you know is your own home, but nevertheless, it takes a while to get back in the groove. And one interesting thing about Ralph, I asked him today, I said, this change came extremely suddenly. No one expected it, but it happened quickly. And here's Ralph Houck in Los Angeles with no equipment. I said, what did you do? And he said, well, I've got Maris's sweatshirt on and Mantle's shoes. So he picked a pretty good pair.
Yeah, I would say so. The number he's wearing is 51. The pants had a little problem. But he gets on the meal money again, and he'll be getting down to his regular fighting weight again. What I'm trying to say is he's put on a pound or two.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, that's one thing about the front office, Joe. I had 2 years in the front office, and when you go to these conventions or to baseball meetings, you know, it's a 24-hour affair, and they keep moving. I'll tell you, they
but you don't put on any weight. You always look like you just finished one.
Well, I find things to worry about, see, in between. You know, I pick a 25th hour, and that's my hour for worry.
Jerry, your weight hasn't changed at all, has it?
Well, my chest has sunk a little, but the weight is the same. I think we ought to give the umpires, Joe. I didn't get to that. We got Marty Springstead behind the plate, John Flaherty at third, Bill Valentine at second, and Ed Runge at first. And right now, here from Anaheim Stadium, our national anthem. Have you noticed what a popular place this ballpark is? We've got Bob Sheffing and Bing Devine and Charlie Rivera, ex-Yankee was here, and John Lindell, Joe Gordon. I've never seen so many familiar faces in one ballpark at one time in my life.
And everybody raving about this new ballpark.
The Angels are very
fine. Sheffing and Nels Burbank is also over there. See, they joined them, Jerry, and one of their scouts. They've been looking at a catcher was telling me about. And I was kidding him saying that nowadays, when a ball player's got any ability, there must be thousands of scouts around. And I was just telling a line that Jim Gallagher used, who works in the commissioner's office. Now, he said that when you go to scout a ball player now, it sounds like a cricket convention with all these stopwatches going. And they said this catcher, you don't need a stopwatch. They've watched him in 2 games, and he's 8 for 8. And when they go to sign that fella, they better bring a barrel of money.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the great advantage of the young ball players today, whether it's professional baseball, football, or basketball. When you're hot, you've got that big demand going for you. You can say, boys, mail me the bid.
There's about 25 scouts. I'll tell you how fine it's gotten, Jerry. They were talking about it. This boy is Port Indian, and they want to make sure that they send the right scout, that his tribe is not at war with this boy, like the Phillies did with Ortega. It's the truth, you know. They sent Ben Kincup, and the Phillies didn't get him. The Dodgers got him. And Bavasi told him, he said, then you know that Kincup's tribe was at war with Ortega's tribe? So you got to even go back as far as your Indian folklore.
Number 48.
Well, we're getting ready for baseball now.
Roy White.
And Roy White will lead it off. White broke a slump last night. He had 3 base hits. 3 for 5. Here's the pitch by Chance. Fastball is outside, ball 1. Dean Chance, Cy Young Award winner a couple years ago. Big, hard-throwing right-hander, and he turns his back, looks away from the plate, and fires strikes. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on White. White takes a look at Crossetti, coaching at third. Jim Turner coaching at first. Ball game just getting started. Dean Chance delivers to White. Outside, and it's ball 3. He wasn't even close on any of them. 3 balls, no strikes. Chance gets his sign from Rogers. 3-0. Delivers. Ball 4, and Roy White draws the base on balls. He's on. It brings up Bobby Richardson. White hitting 290. Richardson is hitting 286.
Second baseman.
Mantle is hitting 288.
Richardson.
They're starting to get up there. Richardson, what a game he had last night, both offensively and defensively. Richardson had 3 base hits, 2 a base on balls. Twice hit and run plays worked perfectly. Ball 1. Rogers switched off on a curveball to see if he could get Chance back in the groove. He missed with that one. Defensively, they're straight away. Cardinal is in center field. Here's the pitch by Chance. Inside, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, and now Rogers goes out to talk to Chance. And boy, these are tough times when you go out there because the pitcher doesn't want you to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. There's not much you can say. In fact, they're about 4 feet apart now as Rogers just looking up to him. You really get some brilliant answers, like all you can say is, come on, bear down. Or you might say, throw some strikes. And boy, the fire comes out. Fire and brimstone. What do you think I'm out here for, dummy? Just get back there and catch. If you had any brains, you wouldn't be putting chin guards on anyhow. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a strike. Two balls and 1 strike. Richardson takes a good look at Crossetti. There might be something going on here. Waiting to see just what kind of control Chance would have. White is holding. The pitch is inside, ball 3. 3-1. Ball game just getting started. No score. Bobby Richardson, 24 base hits. He leads the club. White a lead at first base. There's a throw. White is back easily. Chance a great big guy, so he doesn't have that quick move at first base. By the time he gets that big body going, he actually moves in sections. White is holding. Strike is called. 3-2 the count. Well, here's a game situation early in this ball game. This could be a strike him out and throw him out. Double play to get him out of a jam, or it could be ball 4, put 2 on, a base hit be first and third, and a third place hitter coming up. Let's see what happens. White's got a good lead. Throw to first base, not in time. White had some ideas about going. Many times they say a ball game hinges on 1 pitch. Here's the situation already. 3-2, nobody out, first inning. White a lead. There he goes. The pitcher is swung on, a bouncing ball. Third baseman Shaw is over to his left, up and in time to get Richardson. It looked like the ball might get through there for a minute as Fregosi broke quickly. Might have even broken a bit soon.
Mickey Mantle.
But Richardson is out, third to first, and here is Mantle. White, of course, takes second. Mickey hitting 288, 15 base hits, 52 times at bat. Mantle has 5 hits in his last 12 times at bat. Batting left-handed against Chance. Ball 1 high. He hit a line drive through the middle last night that Lopez just did get out of the way of. In fact, luckily it was off to the right. He really tattooed it. A 3-0 count, and did he ever hit it? Here's the pitch by Chance. Swung on a fly ball deep to center field. Cardinal is going back. He has room. White is tagging up. Cardinal makes the catch. Here's the long throw, and White goes into third base, but that Cardinal got off a fine throw, a 1-hop throw to Paul Shaw, and Shaw acted it out perfectly.
Number 25.
Jerry, that was quite a throw.
Cardinal made the play on that, Joe, and this is something that a lot of ball players don't do. He went back, and ran up to meet the ball as he caught it. That gave him good momentum in his throw, and that's about as fine a throw as you'll see from that deep. That ball was 400 feet in dead center field, and he came close to getting White at third, who's a very fast man, but he made a fine play as he caught the ball and got rid of it.
Sure did. Here's Pepitone. Foul tip all the way back, strike one. That was a curveball. Joe's been jumping on the first pitch. Which is all well and good if it's in the strike zone. No reason not to hit it, but usually if you get the reputation as a first ball hitter, you don't get the good strike on the first pitch. There's a fly ball left field. Reichert is going back, has room, waiting and makes the catch. Pepitone flies to Reichert, ends the first inning for the Yankees. They do not score, and the score at the end of the half inning. New York nothing, California coming to bat.
Let's take a break right about here. A White Owl break. Like your moments big? Well, try a White Owl New Yorker. It's the big cigar for the big moment. I think I'll have one myself. See if I can find my matches. Here they are. Now there's real taste. That's because White Owl uses case-aged tobacco. Every leaf is aged in wood 2.5 years. Costs more to make that way, but it makes a better cigar than the bulk-aged tobacco most people use. No wonder they say there's more to a White Owl than just smoke. Light up a New Yorker and you'll see what I mean. The fine taste and quality of the New Yorker is yours in a whole family of White Owl cigar shapes like the Ranger, Invincible, or Tip. And there's one White Owl that's just right for you. Okay, guys, pass the ashtray and we'll get back to the ballgame.
Bottom of the first inning, Paul Shaw will lead it off. You know, this organist here does quite a job. He plays a little tune for each player as he comes up. I got a list of them, so I'll go down. I guess it's kind of a rich kid's trivia game. At any rate, Paul Shaw comes up. He plays My Shaw. Bobby Knopp is We're from Iowa. Bergosi plays Lucky Lucky Tarantella. So we'll listen for it. Here comes Shaw.
Leading off for the Angels, number 42, third baseman, Paul Shaw.
You talk about a big build-up to nothing. I thought he was going to bomb it out. Here's the pitch to Shaw. This is strike. Boy, oh boy, that's like getting a birthday present, a big box that's empty. Well, curveball is high, and it's 1-1. I might as well finish the list. Warner, he plays Jack Jack. Seaburn, he plays When You're Smiling. The Cardinale plays El Paso, and Rogers is Fly Me to the Moon. Here's a foul ball straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For Chance, he plays I Haven't Got a Ghost of a Chance. Now, if that didn't make your afternoon for you, I don't know what will.
Joe, did you hear the one last night when the pitcher left? Good night, sweetheart.
Yeah, and I gave him a little blast about that. I don't like that. I think that they shouldn't do that. Pitcher feels bad when he leaves. Here's a foul tip held on to by Elston Howard. Nice play, and Shaw is the first strikeout victim of Downing. I don't think they should do that, Jerry, when a fellow's leaving the game like that.
After all, it is the man's business out there, and you can bet that he's not delighted that he's leaving the ball game. And I think it, shall we say, takes a little unfair advantage. I go for it, Joe. I mean, I go with what you say. I think it is wrong.
Well, we agreed on that, right, golly. And we're from Iowa. Bobby Knopp is up there. Knopp was hitting third. He's batting second today, hitting .261. Right-handed batter. Downing delivers a curveball. It hits the bat for strike one. You know, I was asking about Fritz Peterson, who, when you watch him pitch, he's not the kind of a guy that's going to draw oohs and ahs because he doesn't overpower you, but he really gets the job done. And to a man, the Angels were all saying his ball, his fastball, tails away from the right-hand hitter, moves. It's alive. His curveball is not a big curveball, but it's a quick curveball, and he throws strikes, and he's got good motion. Here's a high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Joe Gordon, the former great Yankee who works for the Angels, he put his finger on something. He said, whenever you see a lot of half swings like you saw last night, you know that they're not picking up his motion. Here's a line drive down the left field line, foul. High curveball. Knopf hit it hard, but down the line, foul. So it's 2 strikes, 1 ball, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. One ball, 2 strikes. Knopf coming back. A lot of the lovely ladies in the stands, sporting corsages, and certainly Jerry, Red, Phil, Bill Kane, Joe Cooper, all of us. The lovely mothers, happy Mother's Day. Maybe a beautiful day for you. We should have a whole month for you, a whole year, in fact, a whole lifetime. But we say it by saying Happy Mother's Day. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bobby Knopf. Here's the pitch. A bouncy ball down the third base line. Tresh has to hustle. He's got it over to first, and Pepitone can't come up with it. It was a low throw. Pepitone tried to dig it out. Couldn't come up with it. Let's see how they rule it. Jim Fregosi is the hitter. No official ruling yet. Tresh was laying back with 2 strikes. He had to hustle a play.
Number 11.
The throw was low. He needed some help. Pepitone just couldn't come up with it. It's an error on Pepitone. Low throw. It's a tough error for Joe. Here's Fregosi. The pitch. A foul ball out of play. Upper deck. On at first base, Bobby Knopf. Boyer comes in to say something to Downing to make sure that Downing knows who's covering. Jerry, would you switch off on a guy like Fregosi? Who would be covering if you were playing second base?
A guy like Fregosi, you don't break until the ball goes through the bat. And this is where most infielders make a mistake. They break on the pitch. And the minute they do, they give up all that real estate. If you're going to break, come in directly at the hitter and then go as the ball gets by the bat. Don't give up real estate. With a guy like Fregosi, he spreads his hits.
Here's the pitch of Fregosi outside 1-1. What do you mean when the ball goes through the bat?
In other words, when the ball's by the plate, don't start to second base until then. In other words, make sure you either hit the ball or it goes by him. The minute you break the second, you've given up the entire side of the infield, whether you're the shortstop or the second baseman.
Who would be covering on a preset play right now, shortstop or second base?
Depends on the pitch right now, Joe, whether it's a curveball or a fastball.
Right. Good.
But I will say this, with a guy like Fregosi or Richardson, you just can't give up ground. You've got to cheat and hold ground so that you can get to second base after the ball goes through the bat.
Here's the pitch to Fregosi. It's popped up in the foul territory. Howard is over the mat. Pepitone, and now Howard takes charge. The bench was hollering, and Pepitone heard the bench apparently, and Howard made the play.
Joe, to jump in again on this covering with a man on first base and a possible hit and run. So often you'll see a ball player cover the base and the ball will dribble right through the area that he left. It's unnecessary because the ball player doesn't realize that he does have to break that through, and he still has time. And if the catcher's aware of the fact that you'll be breaking late, he'll just throw the ball at the bag. You'll be there to get it.
You never really worry about them getting there. You know they're going to get there. Here's Riker. High, ball 1. Why would you run towards the hitter? You said you would run towards the hitter.
Because that still gives you the area of going either way. In other words, you can break either way. You're just coming in on the ball. The minute you start in one direction, you can't recover quick enough. This way, taking steps toward the hitter, you're in motion, and then you can break to your right or to the left, depending on where the ball is or if you have to cover.
Here's the pitch. It's a strike.
And I don't mean running at him at high speed, trying to break the 50-yard dash. I just mean moving in.
One moment, please.
Ball. Boyer is short, has the big hop, flips to Richardson in plenty of time to get Knopp coming down from first. And that ends the first inning. So the score at the end of one, Yankees nothing, and the Angels nothing.
Dressing up in a brand new suit can make even an old friend look a little different and a lot better. Well, your favorite Atlantic station is all dressed up these days with a lively new look. We'd like you to come in and look us over because, after all, it's you we're dressing up for. Notice that brand new sign out in front? Clean cut, modern, attractive, isn't it? You'll see it repeated on cans of Atlantic motor oil and even on our multi-value credit card. Like an old friend showing off a new suit, your Atlantic dealer is feeling proud and showing that pride by his lively attitude of enthusiasm in giving you top-notch service and top-quality petroleum products. Stop in soon and look us over. We want you to see that Atlantic is on the go with a lively new look.
On every ball player, the dead pull hitter, usually you say, all right, the shortstop or the second baseman will take it, depending on where he pulls the ball. But a spray hitter like a Fregosi, a Richardson, even a Mantle at times will hit the ball straight away. You just can't give up all that ground because they're allowed to hit the ball in the area that you just left. It's a tough thing, but you got to be tricky. And I think that young ball players have more trouble with this single play than all of them put together.
I think that was a good point, though, that with the right-hand hitter, the slow pitch will pull it, so the second baseman covers, and fastball, it's the other way around. Here's Trish. He takes the strike. Kind of as a rule of thumb I'm talking about. For this
you get crossed up. But then if you're not breaking, it's harder to get crossed up.
True. Here's the pitch outside of fastball. We had two usher heads come in and offer his orchid.
Joe, they gave away 10,000 today because of Mother's Day. And I've got mine. I'm only a father.
Here's a pitch swung on a bouncing ball to Seaburn. He has a big hop, steps on the bag, and crashes out. I might say this for the ball players and broadcasters and people traveling with the club. A lot of us tried to call home, dears, but we couldn't get through because of the heavy
Number 9.
telephone
Right fielder, Roger Maris.
usage. Let's put it that way. I know a lot of guys on the bus were saying it. Beginning right with manager Ralph House. So you lovely wives that didn't hear from your husbands, it really wasn't their fault. Pitch outside, ball one. We're going to go home and get a blast anyhow, Joe. You know that, don't you? Bring the orchid home. Pitch to Maris. Swung on, a bouncing ball up the middle. Roger Maris singles in center field as Knopp was playing way over, playing Roger to pull. He just stroked it right back up the middle. Here is Boyer, the shortstop. No score. Top of the second inning. Boyer the hitter. Cleat has 3 home runs. Dean Chance on the mound for the California Angels. Good crowd on hand, not as big as last night. Last night they sold this place out, 42,851. Here's a throw to first base. Maris is back easily. They had bumper-to-bumper traffic, backed up for miles around here. In fact, on the local broadcast here, Blattner and Don Wells, they were telling the people, unless you had tickets, don't come even near here. Here's a swing and a miss, strike one. The police department here got on, telling the people that unless you have tickets, they turned away as many as were in the park. 1 strike to count. Boyer's the hitter. Roger Maris is on his first base. No score, top of the second inning. There's a throw. Maris is back. Roger's only off about a step and a half. I think Chance is just trying to get loose. And there are pitchers that do that. Swung on a line drive. Base hit, right field. Roger Maris round second base. The ball gets past the right fielder. Here comes Maris on around to score. Boyer around second. He's digging for third. He's going to hold up at third. The ball got by the right fielder, Jackie Warner, and Roger Maris able to score all the way from first. Boyer ends up at third. And it's a 1-0 ball game. 1 out. And Elston Howard the hitter. That'll go as a single for Boyer. Maris moving to second on the single, scoring on the air, or moving to third on the single, whichever way you score it. But he will score on the air. Boyer going all the way to third on the air. So Warner is charged with an error. Howard is the hitter. The infield is moved in. 1-0 is the score. Boyer hit the ball hard to right field. Just served it out that way.
Elston Howard.
There's a throw to Shaw as they appeal a play that Maris missed third. The only way they could do that was a chance to come to a set position. Flip it to Shaw the third, who asked the third base umpire Flaherty, but it was not allowed. So now it's Howard against Chance, and here's the pitch. Swung on a bouncing ball to the shortstop, throwing, and here comes Boyer. Howard rounds first. He'll stop at first. Fregosi couldn't find a handle, and Boyer scores on the air. 2-0. Boyer had no idea about scoring on the ground ball hit by Howard.
Number 24.
Once it got by Fregosi, he came in.
Downing,
so it's 2-0 on 2 errors. Near is Downing. There's 1 out. Third baseman Shaw is in close, looking for the bunt. Howard will lead it first. Downing squares around as if to bunt, takes it low for ball 1. He'll try to bunt the ball down the first baseline, hoping that he can get Seaburn to field it. Because Howard does not have the great speed. And Shaw and Chance will have in their mind, if they get it, to go right to second base. There's 1 out. Here's the pitch. Downing swinging away, and it's right back to Chance. Could be 2. To Fregosi, 1 out. Over to first, they turn it over. A double play. 1-6-3. Ends the inning for the Yankees. But the Yankees scored 2 runs in the top of the second, and the score at the end of an inning and a half is New York 2 and California nothing.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, be friends, do it again, Valentine beer. Hey friends, do it again, Valentine beer. Good to start with Valentine, good to stay with Valentine. The flavor's great at the 3-ring sign. Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Valentine beer. It's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. We've been brewing Valentine beer for 126 years. And today's Valentine, big and bright, crisp and light. Today's Valentine is the greatest ever. Try it. Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Valentine beer.
2-0 ball game. Jackie Warner will lead it off in the bottom of the second. And this is New York Yankee baseball. Let's pause for station identification.
WOKO Radio, Albany, New York.
Jack Warner
26.
leads it off.
Right fielder.
Let's see if he plays the song. Jack. Here's the pitch to Warner. Outside. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes on Warner. Here's the pitch. Outside is 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. The Yankees 2, the Angels nothing. Downing delivers 2-0 to Warner. Swung on and missed in his strike one. 2 balls and a strike. The Yankees leave after the game, go to Minnesota. It's a pretty good road trip. Yankees will be back home on the 20th. Friday night against the Twins. Then Cap Day, the 21st. Here's a foul ball out of play, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of big days coming up at the stadium. My suggestion is to get yourself a schedule. It's an easy thing to get a schedule. There are all kinds of them. If you need one, just write to the Yankees. Here's a strike call, a fastball. Jack Warner is called out on strike. And there is the fastball that starts towards the hitter, breaks over the inside corner when the hitter gives up.
First baseman, Norm Seaburn.
That's Jerry Coleman. When he goes out to do a job, boy, he goes out to do a job. Here's the pitch to Seaburn. Hits the strike. I said to Jerry, would you mind asking that fellow play a little louder and longer? Well, he played louder and longer. So it's kind of a little extra here at the ballpark. Ballparks, you should have fun when you come to the game. Here's Seaburn, strike 2. Good curveball. Great way to spend time away from worries and pressures and what have you. And the organist by playing When You're Smiling. Cardinal will be next, and he'll be playing El Paso. We started to tell you a lot of big days coming up at the ballpark. Of course, we've got our Toby Wright at the Yankee Stadium who entertains with the organ. Here's the pitch to Seaburn inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A lot of different things to look around. I guess I'm one of those nosy guys when I go to ballpark. Look around, see who's hitting the outfield, the infield, who's in the stands, any celebrities. Here's the pitch. Seaburn swings and misses, and it's strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout, 2 strikeouts back-to-back. Cardinal, let's listen to him play El Paso when he comes up there, right after the announcement.
Number 1, center fielder, Jose Cardinal.
Jerry, you did outstanding work.
Well, I'm a good public relations man, you know, when we're working for the broadcast.
You're a good public relations man, period. Wherever you go, you spread your sunshine, Jerry. Here's a strike to Cardinal.
A little hard to do today.
Listen, in my book, you'll always be a modern-day Nick Kenny. Dip your pen in sunshine and spread cheer. Cardinal, a right-handed hitter. Line drive, left field. Roy White can't get this one. It's a base hit. There is the first Angels hit. Here comes Bob Rogers.
Number 7.
This will be Fly Me to the Moon.
Bob Rogers.
Rogers batting right-handed. 2-0 is the score. Yankees lead. Cardinal, a good base runner, has a good lead. Here's the pitch. It hit the bat. A foul ball and strike 1. Downing, of course, with a good move, and Cardinal is kind of one of these nonchalant type ball players. He took a lead with his hands in his back pocket just then, and if he's not careful, he's going to get picked. He's got his hands on his hips now as he edges off the bag. Good lead at first base. Here's the pitch to Rogers outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinal last night came up and got a base hit in the 6th inning as a pinch hitter. Make no mistake about it, he's a good hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 2-0 Yankees lead. There's a throw to first base. Cardinal is back easily. So that was not the good move. Rogers waiting. Downing checks the runner. Delivers. Swung on and missed in a strike 2. Yankee Stadium ticket office is open today until 5 o'clock. You don't have a whole lot of time. You're riding around. Why don't you just stop by and pick up your tickets for, let's say, Friday night when we get home against Minnesota. Our cap day, the next day, an afternoon game. Here's the pitch to Rogers. Swung on and missed a let-up curveball. That's 4 strikeouts for Downing as he strikes out the side here in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. The score at the end of 2. It's the Yankees 2 and the Angels nothing.
That's a Labrador Retriever, isn't it?
Yes, it's a lab. What's that little fluff on the end of your leash?
No, it's a Pekingese.
Hey, that's Chinese.
But he barks in English.
Cat's got his tongue right now. You come to the park much?
No, never.
Oh, I come here all the time.
Oh, I see you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it you notice, my dog?
No, I notice your Tipperello.
Oh.
Yes, I say to myself, there's a man with a beautiful set of Tipperellos.
Well, thank you. I do enjoy them.
Mm-hmm. You're smoking one now, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
Shouldn't a gentleman offer a Tipperello to a lady?
Well,
Excuse me?
You're not serious?
Well, I can smoke if you're worried.
Well, that's not the point. I mean, I think this is the kind of the smoke that the man's.
What are you afraid of? Competition?
Well, no. Well, I wouldn't ask to use your eyebrow pencil.
Well, that's good news.
Top of the third inning from Anaheim, California. It'll be Roy White to lead it off as the Yankees lead 2-0.
Roy White.
You know, we talked about the Yankee Stadium Advance Ticket Office being open until 5 o'clock today. Now, it's open tomorrow through Saturday, 9 to 5. And, of course, when the Yankees are home until after the close of all night games. And on Sundays, till 5 o'clock, it opens at 10. There are a couple other ways to get tickets. Here's the pitch to Roy White. Slow ball 1. The Midtown ticket offices, there's one at Grand Central. Now, that's on the mezzanine overlooking the main information booth. Use the Vanderbilt Avenue entrance. 1-0 pitch to White. It's outside, and it's ball 2. And then there's one at the Port Authority bus terminal at the top of the main group of escalators on the suburban concourse. Now, these 2 offices are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6, and then on Saturdays from 10 to 4. So there's a couple ways to get tickets as the 2-0 pitch comes into White. It's low and it's ball 3. And box and reserve seats can be purchased at any of the more than 30 Schratt's restaurants in Greater New York, Newark, and Westchester. So you can have lunch and get your tickets at the same time. And this year they're also available in New Jersey at AAA outlets of the North Jersey Automobile Club in Oradell, Patterson, and Jersey City. There's the strike, a fastball that caught the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Roy White draws the base on ball. That's the second time he's walked. Chance has only given up 2 base on balls, and White has both of them. Some scores: Washington leading Kansas City 1-0 at the end of 4. Boston 7 and Minnesota 1, bottom of the 8th. Petrocelli had a big grand slammer in the 7th inning. Detroit and Chicago 1-1 at the end of 9. This is a lob throw to first base. White is back. This White Sox, boy. I don't think they got any numbers on the scoreboard that goes beyond 4. Always 1-0. Here's the pitch. Low, Bobby Richardson. Baltimore beat Cleveland 8-2. Palmer the winner. Siebert was the loser. Blefary, Powell, and Frank Robinson home runs. For Robinson, that was his 6th, first of a doubleheader. Cubs beat the Mets 3-1. Ellsworth was the winner. Here's the pitch. It's the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stewart had a home run in that game for the Mets. Second game, Cubs 1, Mets nothing in the second. Billy Williams a home run. Atlanta 1, Houston nothing, end of 5. Pittsburgh beat the Phillies 3-2. Veal was the winner. Cincinnati beat the Dodgers 2-1. O'Toole was the winner. That's a big win over there. Giants clobbered the Cardinals again 10-5. McCovey had a big home run. Hart a home run. McCarver, Skinner, and Shannon had home runs. And Willie Mays hit his 8th. That's his 513th. White draws the throw. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a hit-run combine going for the Yankees. They worked it successfully last night, and Chance is trying to hold White close at first base. 2-0, Yankees lead. White is holding. The pitch is a strike, a curveball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Nobody out. Top of the 3rd. Yankees 2. Angels nothing. Yankees scored 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Single by Maris, a single by Boyer, and on Boyer's single, the ball got through the right fielder, and Maris was able to score, and an error by Fregosi. There goes White. It's swung on and tapped. Rogers comes out quickly, over to first in time to get Richardson, and White moves on down to second base. You know, there's no way in the world when you're scoring, but Jerry, there's a case of where a guy gives himself up, and he gets the time at bat, and yet there are times when a guy tries to bunt for a base hit with a man on and gets thrown out, but because he advances the man, he doesn't get a time at bat.
So there's one thing about a situation like that the manager knows.
The manager knows and the general manager. That's a good point, Jerry. You're so right. Here is Mantle. He flies deep to center field. High, ball 1. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the top of the 3rd. Roy White is on at second base. Mickey Mantle hitting .288. Right down the end of the bat. Outfield is deep. Swung way around towards right field. Chance the big right-hander. Checks White at second and delivers to Mantle. Swung on and missed, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, these big sluggers. When they take a swing and miss, they generate electricity. Here's a 1-1 pitch now. High, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. There is such a thing as looking good while you're striking out. A lot of people feel that's like the guy, who says it's a good bet even if I lose. How could it be a good bet? But guys like Mantle, when they swing, brother, they're worth the price of admission. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chance delivers. Swung on and missed. 2-2, and he had another good cut. See Rogers adjust the mask. You almost get the feeling when you're catching, when a fellow swings like that the mask is just being drawn off your face, like a suction. 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. Well, you can see where this Chance would be rough, Jerry, when he turns that back.
Well, I talked to Mickey just yesterday about who he thought the toughest left-hander was, and he said Sam McDowell, and I said, how about right-handed? And he's out there in the mound right now. He's beaten the Yankees 7 straight. They haven't beat him since 1963.
Well, they're leading right now, 2-0. See what happens on the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. You got him. That's the first strikeout for Dean Chance, and here is Joe Pepitone.
Joe Pepitone, first base.
Pepitone flies to left in the first inning. Joe has 3 home runs. White at second base. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. I remember some of the fellows talking about Chance saying that even when you hit the ball in a good part of the bat, you can feel it. It's a heavy ball. It's like hitting a shot put. 1-0 pitch. Swung on. There's a high fly ball deep to right field. Warner is going back on the warning track and has room and makes the play. Right in front of the fence. Joe Pepitone flies deep to right field. And Warner hauled it in. So that ends the inning for the Yankees. And the score at the end of 2.5. It's the New York Yankees 2 and the California Angels nothing.
Fill her up with Imperial.
Good grief, sir. What's that stuff all over your car?
You'll never guess what happened, fella. I ran off the road into a farmer's market, plowed through a pile of parsley, overturned a crate of live duck,
and slid over about 100 hands of bananas.
Gee, it's a wonder you didn't bash up your car.
Naked driving ability, son. Didn't harm a single duck. Even managed to keep control on the bananas. Did you ever ride over 100 hands of bananas?
No, I can't say I have.
It's mean, boy, mean. Say, you're doing a nice job on that windshield. Don't miss the parsley under the wipers.
Next time your windshield is dirty, remember the Red Ball sign. Your Atlantic Red Ball dealer will clean your windshield, weather permitting, and offer to check your oil or your gasoline purchase is free. This offer varies in some states, but Red Ball service never varies.
So drive in where you see the Red Ball sign and keep on the go with Atlantic.
Your attention, please. Terry Dugan. Please report to the security office on the main level. Terry
2-0. Yankees leading. We're in the bottom of the third.
Pitcher,
Dean Chance to lead it off. Takes the fastball high for ball one. Chance is a big free swinger. Doesn't get many hits because I remember he got 2 hits against the Yankees and Pearsall wanted to send his bat to the Hall of Fame. 2 balls, no strikes now as the curveball misses. Downing is struck out 4. He has given up 1 base hit. That was a line drive by Jose Cardinal. In the bottom of the third, 2-0 is the score. There's the strike right down the middle. Marty Springstead is the plate umpire. On deck, Paul Shaw. Al Downing gets the sign. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Strike 2. Chance is taking. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Downing delivers. Inside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He just tried to throw that one right down the middle. He missed it. Ralph Houk leaning on the top step of the dugout, grabbing that handful of red clay, flipping it out. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 is called. Chance thought he had a base on ball, started down the first base and heads back. And that's 5 strikeouts for Downing. He struck out the side in the second. He's got 1 receiver, and then Cardinal got a base hit, and he struck out Rogers. Now he got Chance. And there's Shaw. Shaw, a right-handed batter. Downing delivers the first pitch. It's a curveball striking a beauty. The old Downer. Strike 2. A let-up pitch that caught the outside corner. Downing has been changing speeds very well. Well, he got Reichert way out in front. He got Rogers way out in front. It looks like he's changing speeds on both his fastball and his curveball. Here's a 2-strike pitch. High fastball, no doubt about that one. That's the pitch that George Scott calls high heat. High heat. Good high riding fastball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low curveball misses, 2-2. And that's as far as he wants to go right here. Joe Gordon has just stopped in. Another good hitter. He's writing something down that's going to be a earth-shaking development. Here's a bouncing ball that Boyer has. Over to first in time. Oh, he gave us the story. Come here, Joe. Come on in here. He won't come here. There's 2 outs. You know, around the batting cage, I always get around there. I'd really miss that part of baseball. It was agitating and needling. And so Rigney and Gordon were standing there, and Rigney said, "I got a scoop for you." I said, "Oh, you've got a scoop every time I come into this park." Here's the pitch to Knopf. Inside, ball 1. He said, I can't tell you, but it's going to be announced today. So Gordon says, I know it. I said, don't give me that. You guys are doing Huntley Brinkley and doing it bad. And we're just agitating back and forth. So he just gave me the scoop. Here's the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orlando Cepeda has been traded to the Cardinals for Ray Sadecki. Now, that is unofficial. I'm going to qualify that. Because Joe Gordon wrote that down. He said that I couldn't tell me before, but now the release time is up. Cepeda for Sadecki. So let's call that a 99 and 44 100% rumor. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Bill Keane is going to try to check it out for us. That'd be a pretty good size trade at that. Cepeda for Sadecki. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Low, and it's 3-1. Well, it could be because the Cardinal game is over and they got trounced again today by the Giants. They got beat bad yesterday, badly. So we shall find out. And if it is true, we got it pretty early. We got it without knowing it, around the batting cage. Knopf waiting. Here's the 3-1 pitch now by Al Downing. Ball 4. So Knopf draws the walk. That's the first walk. And here's Jim Fregosi.
Jim Fregosi, shortstop.
Fregosi, right-handed batter. Downing at the belt. Delivers to Fregosi, low for ball 1. One ball, no strike. Knopf at first base. Yankees leading 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Fregosi fouled out to Pepitone his first time up. Here's the pitch by Al Downing. It's outside, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Trying to, what's the word? Authenticate? Is it a nice one, Joe? Authenticate the trade. Cepeda for Sadecki. Right now it's Fregosi. 2-0, the pitch. Here's the strike over the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. On at first base, Bobby Knopf. We're at the end of 5 over at Kansas City. Washington 1 and Kansas City 0. That's Ortega against Talbot. Red Sox leading. Here's the pitch by Downing to Fregosi. It's popped up in the infield. And Tresh is going to take charge on the mound and makes the play. Tom Tresh came on in, made the play on the mound, and that ends the 3rd inning.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And the score at the end of 3, it's the Yankees 2, the Angels 0. And this is New York Yankee baseball. Let's pause for station identification.
WOKO Radio, Albany, New York.
Boston Red Sox make their first appearance in Anaheim Stadium in a night game beginning at 8 p.m. The Red Sox.
Take a look at the scores. Washington 1, Kansas City 0 at the end of 5. Ortega against Talbot. First game of doubleheader. Boston 7, Minnesota 1, end of 8. Sanders against Siebler, both in relief. Petrocelli, the only home run, a grand slammer in the 7th inning. Bottom of the 10th, Detroit 1, Chicago 1. 3 in a home run. Gladding against Locker, both in relief. That's the first of a doubleheader. Baltimore 8, Cleveland 2. That's the final score. Winning pitcher Palmer, loser was Siebert, Blefrey, Powell, and Frank Robinson home runs. And the second game is Tian against Bunker. National League, Chicago 3, Mets 1. Hamilton the loser, Ellsworth the winner. Stewart had a home run, the only one in the game. The second game of that doubleheader, Chicago 1, Mets 0. Williams a home run, but Hickman has just hit a home run for the Mets, so they're at least tied. Mets batting in the 3rd. We'll give you a rundown as we go along here, but right now it's more baseball. Fresh to lead it off, and here's the old redhead to tell you about it.
Okay, Joe. Dane Chance pitching to Tom. Curve, low inside, ball one. It's a 2-0 ball game. Until the Yankees got their first breaks of the year back-to-back on those errors. First in right field, and at shortstop, got the 2 runs. Fresh takes inside, ball 2. Chance has won 2, lost 1 this year. Lifetime against New York, he is 8-5. An overcast day. Pitch outside is by pick, ball 3. This overcast is causing a lot of misery to some people because this ball game is being televised in color back to New York, and of course everybody in California wanted to look real pretty. Pitch high, ball 4, and Fresh is on to start matters in the 4th inning. I don't think it's going to rain. It doesn't rain very much out here. The average rainfall is 11 inches a year. But you can't see the sun, and if the game had been televised the last 2 days, it would have been just perfect. We had nothing but blue skies out here Friday and Saturday. But not today. Here is Maris, who got a single in the 2nd inning, which started the attack that came up with the 2 runs. Swinging, missing, curveball, strike 1. The one change that Houck made when he took over from Keene was to put Maris in right field. And speaking of Keene, if his plane was on time, he and Vern Benson have been on the ground at Kennedy, landed there 15 minutes ago. And John will go on to the Hilton Hotel, where he's made his home since he's been the Yankee manager. Mrs. Keene will meet him there. Stay there for a few days. Curve low inside. Yes, Joe.
Red, I had been talking earlier about a rumor that's going around, and Bill Keane has just made it official. Cepeda of the Giants was traded to the Cardinals for Ray Sadecki. That is official. I had been talking about it, that it had been a rumor, and Joe Gordon came in, and so we were going to make sure about it.
That's what Cepeda gets for hitting that Grand Slam home run yesterday?
That's about it. Hit a Grand Slammer and new uniform.
Well, I guess the ball players like poker chips, aren't they, Joe? No home.
Well, you're looking at the original poker chip, I'll tell you.
Well, it's a Rolling Stone business. And speaking about that, it's the last day for that ballpark in St. Louis. Pitch on the outside to Maris, ball 3. Joe, I don't want to get you started for a little bit. You can think about it, though, but that would unleash a flood of rumors. The ballpark for years and years was known as Sportsman's Park. Then became Busch Stadium. And you could write now a book, just a library, about the men, the teams. Well, I remember going in with the Brooklyn Dodgers. You knew you were in to wear a hair shirt and you went to that place. One way or the other. It was rough. The whole thing was rough. The climate was rough. Ground was rough. Park was rough. Players were rough. Now it's cut the message 3-2. I got the feeling, maybe I was wrong, but I got the feeling that the whole thing was calculated to be rough. In other words, those country boys down there in Missouri just didn't like city fellows, Joe.
No, sir. The city fellows kept saying that we wore brown shoes and white socks, Red, and make us mad.
Well, that was something. And they got the new park coming up. Going to be dedicated at least Thursday of this week. So, this too shall pass away. We've got 9 new ballparks in the Major League in the last 2 years, starting with those parks when the Dodgers and the Giants went to the coast. Not long, is it? This is the newest one, and it's going to hold it until Thursday. It's going to be the second newest. And then, I don't think they're building that thing up there at Oakland for nothing. Not just to put it up there and look at it. I don't believe. 3-2 pitch to Maris. Swung on a ground ball. It is... Wait, right up through the first baseman. Wait, it's a fair foul. Just a second. Oh, this is a funny one now. Wait, he's out. And we're going to have an argument out of this. I can see Houck. He's poised on the edge of the dugout. Whoop, he had to come out there, but he's coming. Maris hit the ball through the first baseman. The first base umpire never ruled it fair or foul by a sign. The second baseman came up with it. Maris standing at the plate. And the second baseman threw to first. Then we got a sign that he's out. Now, let's see. Wait a minute. Now, Hawkins going back in. Holy, wait, Maris is not out yet. Here comes Rigney. Oh, Joe, you can see blood on the moon on this one.
Yes, sir. What he did, Red, was that old Nippy Jones play. Looked at the ball. Maris claimed foul that it hit his foot. Spring said it, called it a fair. Runge called it a foul. Then Runge drew his hand in, and Maris asked him to look at the ball. And when he looked at the ball, found the shoe polish, and now Rigney's out there. And he as much as saying, if you're going to be umpired by shoe polish, brother, I'm in trouble.
Well, look, they turned the World Series around on shoe polish.
That's right. This is an identical play. Look at that Rigney like a banning rooster.
Well, that's a pretty good-sized Phantom Rooster. I know Roosters does that.
He's going, though.
Well, he's not flapping yet.
He's getting there.
Well, friends, they go back. This ball went off Maris's foot. Now that we have the whole thing, but we couldn't see it. We just saw the ball go down the first baseline. First base umpire never made a sign. The ball went right to the first baseman. Second baseman recovered, threw in the first, and Maris stayed at the plate. So, it's just a foul ball. But a loud one. You've heard about a loud foul? Loud on both sides. I think House is disappointed. He came charging up there really ready. And then they told him it was out the court, and you could see all the wind went out of his sails. They said, well, why did they come up here? Ralph was up there in the ninth inning last evening. On that sabbatical, he hadn't forgotten how to get up there. All right, it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. We have nobody out here in the 4th inning. Yankees are leading 2-0. Dean Chance delivers. There goes the run, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. So Chance is hauled up now and walks the first 2 here in the 4th, which gives him an aggregate of 4 bases on balls. He walks White in the first and in the third.
Shortstop.
And here is Boyer, who singled to right field, and that was the base hit that went through the right fielder, and now has scored from first base. That's the first run. Boyer wound up at third, and then when Howard hit a sharp one down to short, it went right on through the shortstop, and that was the second run, and that's the scoring right up to here. Nothing favor the Yankees. This is the rubber game of the set. Chance delivers, and there's a foul ball, and it stands back of the Yankee dugout. And Jack Sampson, who relieved Friday night, is in the bullpen, veteran right-hander for the Yankees. In the last of the 6th inning, Atlanta won, Houston nothing. Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 3-2. The Reds beat the Dodgers 2-1. That's something after the Dodgers made all those runs yesterday. San Francisco beat St. Louis 10-5. And Willie Mays hit home run number 513. Boyer, a hot one to third base. Shaw knocks it down, steps on third, throws to first in time for a double play. This fella can do that job at third base, Paul Shaw. This was a hot one, and he stopped it, stepped on third, flew over to first. So the double play is 5-3. And on the sequence, Maris moves down to second base. On that scoring, the third baseman gets first a put out, then an assist. And Nelson Howard, coming up in this spot with 2 down and first base open, is going to be deliberately walked. That's ball 2. Howard is being put on. Just to make 5 walks given up by Chance. You know, as a general rule, when he's going well, he can go through a ball and not walk anybody. Al Downing hit into a double play in the 2nd inning. We have 2 out, man at second base. Top of the 4th. Temperature is 65. Overcast day. Anaheim Stadium. Downing, a right-hand batter. Pretty good hitter. Pretty good hitter as pitches go. Takes the curve right over for a strike. Cruzetti coaching at third. Jim Turner on the line, pushing the first, went out there last evening. Throw is fastball outside. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. After this single ball game today, the Yankees move on to Minnesota. See their first brush with the Twins. Stottlemyre will open tomorrow evening. Friends will pitch Tuesday. Chance deals, and there's a strike swinging. Downey cutting on a high fastball. Ralph House did a very familiar role. That restless stance of his, stepping up 2 steps in the dugout, leaning out, getting a handful of dirt. Pitch, curve, strike 3 swinging. That's it. That's all for the bid. No runs, no hits, 1-man left, thanks to the DP. On the score, middle of the 4th, the Yankees 2, the Angels nothing.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer. Hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer. Good to start with Valentine. Good to say with Valentine. The flavor's great at the 3 ring sign. Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine's beer.
Valentine beer. Tastes so smooth and easy going down. We've been brewing Valentine beer for 126 years. And today's Valentine's big and bright, crisp and light. Today's Valentine is the greatest ever. Pour a glass and see for yourself.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Last of the 4th inning. It will be Rich Rackett, who has hit safely in the last 11 games. Mangus will force in the 1st inning. Then Warner, and then Seaman. Downing on the mound, looking for his first win. He's lost 3 times, and hasn't pitched a bad ball game. Howard catching. Infield is Peppertone, Richardson, Boyer, Tresh, White in left, Mantle in center, Maris in right. Now Rackett, big strong fella, takes on the outside. Ball 1. Joe Gordon. That's right, but Joe Gordon plays this great second base for the Yankees, then was dealt for Ali Reynolds for Cleveland, and managed a couple of places in the league. He is a batting instructor. There's a foul in the dirt for the Angels. Man, he'll just talk to you all day long about this kid and how loose he is, and he's strong. Joe flies around wherever the Angels want him in their farm system. He flies his own plane. Ground ball hit the short. Boyer over to first to Peppertone, plenty of time. Talking about Gordon being his own pilot, he's been flying since 39, and he said that when he played for the Yankees, that Joe McCarthy really chewed him out about flying. Did everything he could to keep him from flying. There's Jackie Warner, right-hand batter. Downing delivers and cuts on the curveball. There have been a few fellas in baseball that flew their own plane. Johnny Sain flew his. Bobby Fella flew his. Rochester, Cleveland. Jimmy Dudley flew his. Curve swung on. Strike 2 up. I think the first ball player I knew that was his own pilot was Dolph Camilli. Late in his career, he took it up, soloed. 1 out last of the 4th. It is 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. Fastball swung on, and that is it. 6 strikeouts for Downing. And now we have Norm Seaman, who struck out in the 2nd inning.
First base.
The organist is playing when you're smiling, because Seaman doesn't smile. At least so they say. They call him Smiley. Curve is too high, ball one. Bushman, you know, Stephen, he's a very quiet man, very soft-spoken man, reserved, great deal of dignity. Pitches in for the strike. I've found whenever I talked with him that the conversation was always pleasant, and he always had a half smile, which is enough. But eyes get around, so they say that he doesn't smile. So his nickname now in the Southland of California is Smiley. There's a high fly ball deep out in the right center field, and he can smile about this, and he bounces it off the wall for a double. Joe, I would say he's got a little smile down there at second base.
I can't imagine he's laughing.
This is hit number 2 for the Angels. Seaman has had a big series. He's knocked in 5 runs. Howard is out the mound talking to Downing. That ball went right up against the fence. Turned to 83 feet.
Center field.
Jose Cardinal, who pitched hit last evening, Pearsall had been the third outfielder of the first 2 games. Cardinal, right-hand batter. This is a tough ball game, 2-0. Favor New York. Seaman with 2 out, leading down our second. Cardinal pitch low inside. Howard giving the sign. Fastball, high outside, ball 2. Cardinal steps out, looking down Del Rice, third base coach. Parker pushing it first. California. Downing studying. Now he's ready. Sets. Pitches. Over for the strike. Good one. Oh, we got a lot of umpires out here today. Only 4 of them, however, are official. Downing at the back of the mound. Steps in. Cardinal, slender, right-hand hitter. Curve, low inside, ball 3. 3-1. We got a fine crowd today, but nothing like the turnaway crowd we had last night that filled the ballpark and had standing room. Three balls, 1 strike. Downing ready to work 3-1, does, and has a ground ball hit too short. Big bounce to Boyer. There's the throw. Over to Pepitone. Plenty of time for the 3rd out. So that's all for that bid. No runs, 1 hit, the double by Seaman to right center field. Totals at the end of 4 here in Southern California. The Yankees 2-2-1, and the Angels 0-2-2.
Howard, we're here at the Millionaires Club because I want to challenge a millionaire.
Challenge him to a yacht race or something, Uncle Shagpo?
No, it's about his cigars. Here comes a millionaire now. Pardon me, sir, you smoke 2 for a quarter cigars, I believe.
That's right.
But now that same cigar costs you 2 for 27 cents, correct?
Well, yes, and it's a little steep.
Are you aware, sir, that every day millions of men are enjoying White Owl, a great quality cigar, and paying only 10 cents each?
So?
Then, sir, I challenge you to send us 2 bands from your 2 for 27-cent cigars, and we'll send you 2 White Owls of your choice. Invincible, New Yorker, Ranger, whatever.
Well, where do I send these bands from my 2 for 27-cent cigars?
The White Owl Challenge, Box 135, New York 10046.
White Owl Challenge, Box 135, New York 10046. Why are you doing this?
Why, we just want you to find out why there's more to a White Owl than just smoke.
We start the 5th inning with White, the leadoff man, who has both times been walked by Dean Chance. 2-0 favor the Yankees. White, a switcher, batting left-handed, takes high outside, ball 1. Happy Mother's Day. And the Angels here have given out some 7,500 orchids. Their participation in Mother's Day. They're lovely little purple corsages. Joe, you and I didn't qualify for one, did we?
Oh, I got mine, Red.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Well, happy Mother's Day, Joe.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, 2 balls, 1 strike. White up. Chance delivers, and Roy fouls it back. They tell me around the league that not all the hitters enjoy hitting against Chance, because he not only throws hard, has this hitch back there in his backswing, but he has one eye that goes off, and they don't know whether he's looking at him or not. Pitch high inside, ball 3. And I asked Chance about this, that he know that hitters had that reaction, and he said yes, he was aware of it, and it didn't make him unhappy at all. 3-2 pitch, ball 4, and he's walked in 3 out of 3 trips. Joe, I guess it would be something you're standing up there. Like this, you don't know whether he sees you or not.
It's the worst feeling in the world, Red. It was that Gomez did it as a joke, but I could see where you'd want to light a match or something and say, I'm over here. Do what you want, but don't hit me.
And here is Bobby Richardson. There's a throw to first. You around when Ron Duran had those thick glasses?
Oh, yeah.
A few hitters wondered if he saw them.
No, the worst feeling in the world, I've always said, is a pitcher coming in, taking his glasses off, and wiping them. And we're giving you that real fuzzy look. That's why I say glasses are no handicap at all.
If you're a pitcher. Bobby Richardson takes the high inside ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So what we're talking about, friends, is pitchers will do anything in the world they can to get you out. And wait a minute. Time is called. Here's Rigney going out to the mound. Chance has been laboring out there. He's walked 6. And now he's behind 2-0 on Richardson. Here is Rigney. This thing hadn't been going to suit the cricket. He's out there now talking to Dean. This is his permissive visit. And Rigney, you can see, is just saying to him, now, wait a minute now. Are you all right? If you're not, tell me so. It would seem to me you're all right walking this many. Still, Rigney leaves it to him. But for 2 hours, a Chance, who's had to work harder than Downing, will still be even in this ball game. 2-0 New York. Throw to first, nothing to it. His right fielder let a base hit go through him. Shortstop let a ground ball go right through him. 2 runs came in. Bang, bang. Richardson cuts, does not get it. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the 5th. Bobby bunted. He bid for a base hit, I think. At least he withheld that intention to bunt to the last second, fouled it off. 2-2. going to ask the official scorer if he credits one of the Yankee runs he's earned. I don't believe he can give them both. We'll see what he says. After all, it's up to his judgment. There goes the runner. Richardson swings. The ground ball is hit to deep short. It's a base hit, goes through, and White on the hit and run goes right into third base. So Bobby, who did it last evening, does it again today. Buddy Blattner, you remember, played second base around the National League, broadcasting out here. He was telling us before the game today that if you just don't see a man play a game better than Richardson played last night, both the field and up there at the plate, protecting the runner and getting a hit and run base hit. So Bobby does it. Twice he had moved White over with run and hit plays, and now he gets him over and an extra base on a base hit. This is the third hit. Now runners at first and third, but nobody out here in the third inning. And here's Mantle, who batted in all 3 runs last night. Swinging a ground ball, base hit into right field. And here's the third run in. Richardson is on his way to third. The throw in from right is cut off at short. So runners remain at first and third. It is now 3-0 in favor of New York. So for Mantle, this gives him 4 runs batted in last night and today. Single to right. Catcher Rogers is out at the mound, talking to Chance. And here comes Wrigley, so this is all for Chance. This is the second time he's been out. This run, of course, is definitely earned, and Wrigley motions to the bullpen. And this is going to give us a chance to get over to Joe and find out about all these other ball games and bring you up to date, because this big Sunday we've got a fourth run. Chance is walking off. New man is just starting in out of the bullpen. The Angel pitches right in on a golf cart. The Yankee pitches walk in. That's their custom. So, Joe, it's 3-0 here now in favor of New York. And who's it in favor of in other places?
Well, in Kansas City, it's Washington 1, Kansas City nothing at the end of 6. Boston beat Minnesota in the first game 8-1. Petrocelli had a grand slammer. Cott was the loser, and Wilson was the winner. In the Washington-Kansas City game, it's Ortega for Washington, Talbot for Kansas City. Detroit got 2 runs in the top of the 11th, and they lead 3-1 over the White Sox. Gladden against Locker, both in relief. That's the first of a doubleheader, and 3 in a home run in that game. In the first game, Baltimore defeated Cleveland 8-2 with Palmer the winner. Siebert was the loser. Lefley, Powell, and Robinson had home runs. And in the second game, Cleveland did not score in the top of the first. Frank Robinson has hit his 7th home run of the year. In the bottom of the first with a man on, Baltimore leading at least 2-0. Keon against Bunker. Chicago 3, the Mets 1 in the first game. Ellsworth, the winner, Hamilton, the loser. Stewart, a home run. And the Mets came up with 5 runs in the bottom of the third. They lead 5-1 at the end of 3. Abernathy against Ryban. Williams and Hickman home runs. And the Houston Astros lead Atlanta 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Henry Aaron, a home run for Atlanta. Necro against Quaylar. Necro's in relief. Pittsburgh defeated Philadelphia 3-2. No home runs in the game. Beal all the way for the win. Herbert was the loser. And Cincinnati defeated Los Angeles 2-1. O'Toole was the winner. Austin was the loser. And San Francisco defeated St. Louis 10-5. McDaniel the winner. Stallard was the loser. McCarver, Skinner, and Shannon had home runs. Hart, McCovey, and Mays had home runs. And for Mays, that's the 8th of the year and his 513th career home run. You might add that trade that was announced between the Giants and the Cardinals. A left-handed pitcher, Ray Sadecki, goes to the Giants for Orlando Cepeda. That's as much as we know about that trade, at least those are the 2 principals. And right here, it's 3-0. Jack Sanford has come on for the Angels, and this is New York Yankee baseball. So let's pause for station identification.
This is WOKO Radio in Albany, New York.
Jack Sanford taking his warm-up tosses here. He'll be facing Joe Pepperstone with base runners at first and third. 1 run in, 3-0. And with Sanford all finished with his warm-up tosses and getting ready. And once again, here's Joe Redhead, Ed Barber.
First base.
Jack Sanford takes the mound. He relieved Friday night, got credit for the win, although there was quite a dispute among a lot of the writers. Most of them, the New York writers, thought that Burdett should have gotten it, but gets the local score. He's the fellow who does it. Here's the Peppertone. Yankees leading 3-0. Joe swings a ground ball at second. And the throw to the plate, and they've got Richardson hung up. There's the catcher running him back to third. And now Shaw running Richardson tags him. And and there's the out, and the other runners always go around to third and second. So this was the first baseman, Steedman, to the catcher, Rogers, to the third baseman, Shaw, and they get the first out. So Pepperton on the fielder's choice, he winds up at second base. Bobby delayed long enough to enable Mantle to come around to third base.
Third base.
Well, Richardson is out. 3-2 to 5. So that's one down. Top of the fifth. 3-0 New York. And here is Craig, who is 0 for 1. Walked his last time up. Infield remains in. And close. Outfield shaded into right. Craig hitting left-handed. 6-0. The Angels got Stanford from the Giants. And the organist who plays these little musical fragments trying to identify ball players, when Stanford came on, played I Left My Heart in San Francisco, and maybe he wasn't thinking about what he was playing. There's a change-up, swung on and missed. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember when Stanford became the property of the Angels, Rigney expected him the next day, and Stanford came in that night. He took the first plane out. But 1-1. Runners at second and third. Tush cuts and misses. High slider. Strike 2. 1-2. The official scores advise us that the first 2 Yankee runs, those runs in the second inning, were those 2 errors. Those runs are unearned. So I don't suppose the Chance is a very happy fellow back there in the bathhouse. One-two pitch. Low. Rogers blocks it. Blocked it in front of him. That's what our man Garagiola says you do with a low pitch, block it in front of you. That's what Ellie Howard's new book emphasizes, block it in front of you. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. I think he slowed up on him slightly. So Stanford has come on and gotten 2 big outs. Kept the score what it is, 3-0.
Right field.
And plate umpire Springstead is going out to look at the ball. Finds it's all right. No, he doesn't. He takes it out. Now Stanford and Rogers, it's the battery, talking a little bit. Here is Maris, who has singled and walked. Left-hand batter. Speaking about catches, Joe, what is the first rule of catching? Now, this is what Ernie Lombardi answered one year for me. I'm going to see if you got the same answer he's got. The first rule of catching.
My first rule of catching was get in front of the ball.
You know, I asked Big Lom one time, years ago, what's the first rule of catching? You know what he said?
What?
He said, don't duck. Otherwise, you might as well not have that mask on. Here's the pitch to Maris. Over for the strike. I've always thought that was a pretty good answer.
Well, I would say that's the first rule as far as safety, but the manager really doesn't care whether you duck or not if you keep that ball in front of you. I don't care if you get your head knocked off. Keep the ball in front of you.
Hear that train whistle? Yeah, that diesel coming in from the east. Right back of left field. Headed for L.A. Oh, we'll pick up the slang around here in a minute. There's a pitch on the outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes, sir, you follow the left field foul line, right where it's pointed. Los Angeles. Left field foul line, San Bernardino. There's a high foul ball deep back to first base. First baseman Seaman backing up, and he's got it. And Maris is out, and Sanford comes on and does an amazing relief job. He stopped them cold. So it is 1 run, 2 hits. And the key play was, of course, Bobby Richardson's hit and run single. So the score in the middle of the 5th, the Yankees 3 and the Angels nothing.
Are you looking forward to improved performance from your car with the warm weather ahead? Well, warm weather alone may not help much if you've been using a gasoline that doesn't prevent carburetor deposits. Regardless of temperature or weather, deposits around the carburetor throttle plate can seriously downgrade engine performance, cause stalling, rough idling, and wasted gasoline. But Atlantic Imperial is the clean carburetor gasoline. Only a few tankfuls dissolve throttle plate deposits and wash them harmlessly away. We're sure you'll get improved performance with Atlantic Imperial, the gasoline that cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean. And here's something else to think about. All winter long, water, acid, and dirt have been accumulating in your crankcase. So while you do your spring car cleaning, have the oil changed, and be sure to specify Atlantic Imperial motor oil to flush water, acid, and dirt out of your crankcase. Enjoy your driving more with a clean carburetor and a clean engine. Let Atlantic Imperial gasoline and Atlantic Imperial motor oil keep your car on the go.
Just turn around visiting with a very, very valued friend of ours. Goes back to the early 30s, Harold Parrott. Both of us were together in the days at Ebbets Field, and Harold is now in charge of ticket sales out here for the Angels. He first came out to Los Angeles with the Dodgers. 2 years ago, transferred over to this club, and he's done quite a job. Now we have Bob Rogers, first up last of the 5th inning, switch hitter batting right-handed against left-handed Downing. It is 3-0 in favor of Downing and the Yankees. Rogers was struck out in the 2nd inning. Downing is struck out 6. Downing taking the sign from Howard. Overcast afternoon at Anaheim. As a line drive, base hit down the left field corner. Rogers is around first base. He is headed for second. White comes up with the ball, throws into the shortstop who's the cutoff man, and it is a double without a play on him at second base for Rogers. He hits that sharply. He went just about a foot fair inside the left field line. This is hit number 3 for the Angels. And now I think Rigney is going to his bench for a pinch hitter for his relief pitcher, Jack Sanford. Jimmy Pearsall, who played left field the first 2 games in this series. Jimmy Pearsall, a very popular and deservedly so figure.
For the Angels. Batting for Sanford.
Is the announcement.
Number 4, Jim Pearsall.
We'll have a new pitcher. Top of the 6th inning for Los Angeles. And Pearsall stepping in. Pitcher straight away on James, wearing number 4. Reported he only has 9 children right now. This is the baseball team. There's a base hit from right field, and here is Rogers coming around third base and holding. So on the hit into right, Rogers not being the fastest man on the field, and on Maris's arm, Del White holding. So runners at first and third. 3-0 New York, and this is the most serious difficulty that Downing has been in. Paul Shaw, the third base coach, and he has had a whale of a series. He has made all the plays possible at third base. And the Yankees have given him the opportunity to make them all. Infield is in double play depth. Jack Cullen is throwing in the Yankee bullpen, which is in back of right field. Curve is over for the strike. Burdette, who will leave to put the Friday night the game to bed for the Angels, is throwing for them. Downing trying to get out of this. Delivers a curveball, which is foul 6, strike 2. 0-2. Detroit to Chicago, the first game in 11 innings was won by Detroit, 3-1, and the second game has been postponed because of cold weather. And that's part of the country we are going to tonight. Minnesota, anyhow. As strike 3 is swinging, and Downing strikes out Shaw. That's his 7th strikeout. Now Howard goes out to talk to Downing. Knopf has gotten on through pressure, low throw for an error and a base on ball. Bobby Knopf. They have this red big A out of back of left center field, which holds the scoreboard and has an angel on the top. It is 230 feet high. If somebody asks you how high that is, in case you hear about it, see pictures of it. They refer to it as 23 stories tall. Knopf fouls the pitch back. Strike 1. A 3-0 New York. Stottlemyre opens tomorrow night at Minnesota. Bob Friend Tuesday night. Manager House didn't name his pitches any farther than that. Downing works. There's a foul ball back. House is wearing uniform number 51. And he thinks that's temporary. He doesn't know. He didn't bring any baseball cards with him on this trip. He's wearing an extra pair of Mickey Mantle shoes, an extra sweatshirt, Roger Maris. A 51 uniform belonged to Mickelson last year. There's a base hit in the center field. Line drive. Rogers comes in, and Pearsall goes to second and holds on. So now it's a 3-1 ball game with the tying run drawn at first and second. So the Angels now have their first uprising. Come out, a line single in the center. This gets Rogers in. Moves Pearsall the second. And Houck is out at the mound. This is the first time since Ralph took back the ball club that he's been out to the mound. He didn't have to go out there to talk to Peterson last evening at all. Now Ralph on his way into the dugout. He's trotting and a familiar jog of his. Now he'll go back in there and stand halfway up the dugout steps. He's getting a handful of dirt. Jim Fregosi is 0 for 2, right-in hitting shortstop. Infield, double play depth, the defensive step toward left. Yankees leading 3-1. Fregosi takes the curve low, ball 1. Downing being somewhat deliberate, careful about his sign. Looks in the dirt and asks for the sign again. Now comes to the belt. Delivers. The strike. He slowed up a little, had it over. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fregosi looking down at third. The way he looked just then, so quickly, he gave the appearance that the take was on the pitch that Downing just delivered. 1-1. Runners at first and second. Outside, curveball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Yankees got 2 in the second, 1 in the fifth. The Angels just got in that first counter with 3-1 New York. Downing deals outside, ball 3. Now House starts chasing that dugout. All right, 3-1. Got a fine crowd. They had to turn people away last evening. The first sellout. Pitch swung on. There's a ball drilled to left center field. And let's see, there's the left fielder White making the catch, and the runners hold on. So that is a very big second out. When he first hit it, it looked as though it might be trouble up that alley. White moved over. Now we have 2 out. And here is Rich Rackett. Howard's out at the mound to remind Downing who this is. Rackett is 0 for 2, 2 ground balls.
Next batter, left fielder, Rick Reichart.
He hit strike base in the 11 games coming to this. He's a big, strong fella. That's 2 foot left. Swings and does not get a curveball. When he swings, he swings. Joe Gordon, who does special batting tutoring for the Angels, points out that this fellow is not only so strong, but he is just the opposite of being muscle-bound. He is very limber. Fouls the back. It takes a very strong man with very active wrist to whip a baseball bat fast enough to where you can actually hear it hum or whistle. And this fellow does it. I heard him do it outside the cage. All right, 2 strikes. Swings, there's a high foul ball out of play. Joe, when you were sitting back in the plate catching, were there many hitters that you could hear make that bat whistle?
There were a number of them, Red, but I wouldn't really say many, no.
They tell me Ted Williams made it sing.
Well, when you talk about, I guess, guys like Williams, Musial, or Aaron, you talk about symphony players. They play tunes for you.
Real, now let's see. This fellow's up there with 2 strikes on him. Downing delivers, then foul back. Still 2 strikes. Howard goes out to the mound. The sun is trying to break through. We've had a high overcast all day. Rackett digs in. Big, strong right-hand batter. Downing running first and second, 2 out. 2 strikes on the hitter. Al has a 2-run lead, 3-1. Pitches, and there's a high fly ball in the short right field. Pepperton going out, Richardson going out. Here's Norris coming on, and it's the right fielder for the catch. And the third out. So it is 1 run on 3 hits, and Downing settled down and got out of his only serious trouble. Total then at the end of 5 for the Yankees, 3-4-1 for the Angels, 1-5-2. Lou Burdett, who was traded out of the organization to Johnny Sane. Remember that?
Your attention, please. Now,
that was back in 1951. And then, of course, Burdett went on with a great career with the Braves. And under Fred Haney, who's managing Milwaukee, and they won the World Series against the Yankees. Burdett beat the Yankees 57 three times. 3-0.
Shortstop.
You speak of Fred Haney, there's a man that done about everything in baseball you can think of, and he's still doing it. Boyer first up in the sixth inning, it's 3-1 New York. Swings on Burdett's curve right now. Haney was a ball player, infielder. The coach was the manager of the Browns, then he was a broadcaster. He broadcast out in Hollywood for years. Then he was brought in to be expendable at Pittsburgh. Is that right, Joe?
They were building over there, Red, in those days.
And not character.
They had him over there, though.
And then, of course, Haney had the great managerial career at Milwaukee. Joe, I never could understand how they let that man go as a manager.
A lot of moves made in baseball.
And, of course, as a general manager, he's built this ball club. But I don't think there's any question of the new ball club, the 4 new baseball clubs. This is the one that's done the job, laid the foundation. If you don't think so, just look around. Okay, Burdett is now 1-1 with Boyer. Veteran right-hander. Pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Strike 2. Lou Burdett. The Angel infield, Sieben at first base, Knopf at second, Fregosi at short, Shaw is at third. Yankees leading in the ball game 3-1. Burdett pumps, delivers, and has the ball hit high out to right center field. There's right fielder Warner going back. Makes the catch close to the wall. Stays with it. Boyer's out. Warner and Wright plotted now today as in center. Blackett for the first 2 games who had been in centers and left. Pearsall played the first 2 games and left. Now we have Howard headed to a field of choice and was deliberately walked. Burdett's the third pitcher for the Angels. Airtime tomorrow evening from Minnesota will be 8:55. It'll be so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evening. Breaking ball to outside, ball 1. In the getaway game, which is Thursday evening from Minnesota, airtime is 6:55. This is your time to get in. Friday night, Kansas City, 8:55. Saturday night, 7:55. Week this afternoon, Sunday, doubleheader, 3:25 from Kansas City. Foul back. Tuesday, Wednesday, the 17th and 18th from Detroit, as we close this first railroad trip. Airtime 8:55 both evenings. Wherever the Yankees play, whenever they play, every bit of it, right where you have your dial set. Right, Burdett, ready to pitch 1-1 to Howard. Does. And Nelson fouls it off. Right to it. In the second inning, for New York, Marish single, went around to third on Boyer's single to right, and that single went right through the right field, and Marish never stopped till he crossed the plate, and Boyer went to third. Then when Howard's ground ball went through the shortstop, Boyer scored. Those were the 2 runs, neither to be scored if earned. The 1-2 pitch. Too high, ball 2. The third Yankee run was a walk to White in the 5th. This is by Dean Chance, who was a starter. Went into the 5th inning before he had to come out. Richardson on a hit-and-run single got White around the 3rd, and Matt single to right picked him up. The run just now for the Angels was a double by Rogers, singled by pinch hitter Pearsall and Knopf. Howard hit a long fly ball deep out to right center field. Through there for the base hit. It's in the hole, and Elston is coming in the second base with a double. Cardinal couldn't get to it, so it is a double into right center for Howard, which is hit number 5 for New York. We got the first 4 off Chance. Nothing off Sanford, who did quite a relief job. Get those 3 out. Downing hit into a double play and struck out. Howard at second. 1 out. Outfield laid back into right. Burdette set. Goes the curve, though, outside. Ball 1. Right-hander delivers. Curve blow outside, ball 2. Before we have the last of the 6th inning, this is New York Yankee baseball, and we'll have a pause for station identification.
This is WOPR Radio, Albany, New York.
We just got his run back. Keep him at a 3+. Now leading 4-1. Throws the pitch to Warner, Cleveland, and Cardinal. Last of the 6th inning. Warner has twice enough. 8 times and struck out. Takes a strike. Downing has struck out 7. He's had stuff. On left-hander deals as a changeup. Miss, strike 2. Nothing in 2. Outfielder runs toward left. This is the right-hand batter, Jackie Warner. This is high. Ball 1. With the umpire, Marty Springstead. Back of the plate. Runge at first, Valentine second, Flaherty at third. A curve is low. The hitter went in, stopped his downswing in time. Howard turned around to appeal for it. Springstead said no. That's the ball. Downing pumps, delivers as a high pop-up. First baseman Pepperton coming to the mound is under it and has it. 1 down. Norm Stephen, strikeout and a double. Last time up, he hit the right center field fence.
First base.
Triple deck stands in this new ballpark. From foul corner to foul corner. No stands in back of the outfield. Curve is over for the strike. Nothing in 1. Downing pumps 1. Kicks, throws, over. Ball strike 2. At the end of this 6th inning, we'll check all the other games for you. Give you as much detail as time will permit. Then our man Coleman will be along for all the play-by-play of the last third. The 2-strike pitch. Curve low outside. Ball 1. 1 and 2. Curve is lined on a short bounce to Pepperton, who stepped on first base for the out. But for second, he might have caught it cleanly. Now we have 2 up and 2 down. Thinking about this trade that the Giants made with the Cardinals. Traded for Sadecki to get a left-handed pitcher. Dutch Rufus. One-time great pitcher in the National League. Now 72 years young. And is scouting for San Francisco. Full-time basis. He's completely active. Well, he's been here at Anaheim at the hotel this weekend, and we were talking with him, and he said, well, one thing that he's been looking for, one thing that the Giants want, one thing they had to have, was a left-handed pitcher. Said that yesterday morning, I will get the news today. This ground ball hit the third and flew for a base hit. Cardinal around first on his way for second. White comes up with the ball, and Cardinal is on with a double. So Jose Cardinal, center fielder today, a double to left with 2 out. That's his second hit. He had a single to left field in the second inning. He had a pinch hit single last night. But he's suddenly hot. Dodgers 1 for 2. Rogers switch hitter. 4-1 ball game, New York. Downing had a few rocky last inning. I've got a man at second base with 2 out. Pitch is low. First base is open. The relief pitcher spot or a pinch hitter spot follows next. So I think the percentage is that they will pitch to this hitter rather than try and put him on, pitch to whoever Wrigley sends up. So in this stage of affairs, he wouldn't send up his relief pitcher. A foul ball down the right field line, out of play. Strike 1. 1-1. Van Williams, remember, with the Yankees, they got into the Dodgers for Bill Skowron. He's out of baseball now, had arm trouble. He pitched batting practice today. Downing working on the outside, ball 2. 1-1. Ted Bozefield, remember the left-hand pitcher in the league, several clubs. He's now in civilians and is working for the Angels here at ballpark, and he's very happy about his work. He said, you know, a ball player doesn't know what in the world goes on in the background until he gets into it. There's a foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The attendance is 26,260. 26,260. So the Yankees have done a great deal of business here this weekend. We'll get Bill Kane to add up the Friday night, last night, and today's attendance figures for you. All right, 2 down. Runner at second. 2-2 count. And Downing throws second base out in time. Scores of the other games coming up, end of this inning. And all of the stations on the Home of Champions Network stay with us. And 2-2. Downing delivers. There's strike 3 swinging. So Downing strikes out his 8th and takes charge himself. No runs, 1 hit. So here are the 6-inning totals out here at Anaheim, California, in the Southland of the state. The Yankees 4 runs, 6 hits and an error. First 2 runs are not earned. But the Yankees, the way things have gone, especially for Downing, is take them anywhere they can get them. For the Angels, 1 run, 6 hits and 2 errors. Yellow ball game. The 7th inning, Jerry Coleman. Okay, and Lou Burdett is just about ready to pitch to Bobby Richardson as we open up the top of the 7th with the Yankees leading 4-1. The first pitch, line to left field, a base hit. Rick Reichert up with it, fires it in, and Richardson is on with a single. That's the second hit for Bobby. 2 for 4 on the afternoon.
Here's Mantle coming on. 1 for 3 with an RBI. McKee picking up steam as the season progresses. Mantle holding that bat right on the end. In fact, he has a little overdrift there where that bottom finger is below the end of the bat. Pitch is outside by Lou Burdette to Mantle. Richardson at first base. Nobody out. 26,260 on hand today for a total of 100,801. And that's not bad. Averaging about 34,000 a game. McKee takes a strike right in there, 1-1. Lou Burdette, no stranger to Mantle, nor is Mantle a stranger to Burdette. I said that the same way twice, didn't I? Well, you know what I mean. But anyway, they battled each other in 1957 and 58 in the World Series. The Yankees winning one of them, Braves winning the other. Pitch to Mickey is hit to left field. Riker holding ground, now going back a little bit, backs up and takes it. Mantle did not get the good wood to it as he flies to Reichert in left. Here's Joe Pepitone, 0 for 3. Fly to left, to right, bounced into a double play.
Joe Pepitone, first base.
Joe Pepitone with Richardson at first base coming to the plate. Frank Cassetti is pitching at third. Jim Turner at first. And Ralph Houk, who took over yesterday, last night I should say, really, in the dugout as the Yankee manager. Pitch to Pepitone is hit high to right field. Moving over there into the gap in right center is Cardinal. He's under it and he's got it. He was well over there, playing in the gap for Pepitone. Oh, we have 2 down. Now to bring up Tommy Tresh. Tresh is 0 for 2. He had a walk in the 4th inning. That was forced on the double play ball by Clete Boyer. Tommy Tresh batting from the left side against the right-handed Lou Burdette, who at one time belonged to the Yankees and was traded to the then Boston Braves for Johnny Sain. Burdette, then a young right-hand pitcher, could not make the Yankee club. Sain came on and did a great job for the Yankees for 4 years, but then Burdette developed into the finest right-handers in the big leagues. High fly ball to left field. Rick Reichert going back, calling for it. Under it, he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and the score after 6.5, Yanks 4, Angels 1. Top of the 7th inning, Yankees leading 4-1 from the brand spanking new Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, about 40 miles south of Los Angeles and about 95 north of San Diego. Coming on to hit for Lou Burdette as we move into the bottom of the 7th, Frank Malzone. Al Downing all the way for the Yankees has struck out 8, given up 6 hits. Downing sitting on top of a 4-1 lead. Yankee infield and outfield shades a little to the left of Malzone, who spent his entire Major League career with the Boston Red Sox. That was from 57 to 65. First pitch hit sharply down the line and left, a base hit right over there. Hits it, and then it comes back on a carom off the wall, and Malzone gets to second base. White going for the ball. It hit his knee, and it was as though he kicked it into the concrete wall in left field. Down the line there, it bounced right back to him, and almost had a chance to retire Malzone at second base, and it looks like that's all for Al Downing. Here comes manager Ralph Houk. So Malzone, who doubled to left, is being removed for a pinch runner, Marcelino Lopez.
For the Angels, running for Malzone, number 33.
Lopez in.
Lopez.
To run for Malzone, and Houk out there for the second time, and that will be all for Al Downing. Pedro Ramos, who has been warming up. is coming on now. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Yankees leading 4-1. A leadoff double by Malzone has forced manager Ralph Houck into a pitching change. And while we're waiting, Red, have we got to look at the scoreboard? Have you got anything you'd like to bring across?
Well, let's dust it down, Jerry. At the end of 9 innings, Washington Kansas City a single game. That's a 2-2 tie. Boston won the first game in Minnesota 8-1. And at the end of 2 innings of the second, the Red Sox were leading 1-0. In 11 innings, first game, the Tigers 3 and the White Sox 1, and the second game postponed, cold weather. First of a doubleheader, Cleveland and Baltimore, won by the Orioles, 8-2, and they're leading at the end of 3 in the second now, 5-1. They just got Tiot out of there. Frank Robinson's hit a home run in each ball game. In the National League, first of a doubleheader, the Cubs 3 and the Mets 1. End of 7 innings of the second, the Mets 5 and the Cubs 1. House now takes the relief from the jacket. Ralph's on his way back into the dugout. Ramos getting all set to go check the battery sign. Howard, Ramos trying to put this into bed for Downing for his first win. 4-1 ball. We had a single game at Ladder at Houston. And Houston was 2 in the last of the 9th inning. Won it 5-4. Pittsburgh and back to field. Just Philadelphia 3-2. Cincinnati eked out a 2-1 win over Los Angeles. O'Toole, the winning pitcher, and they beat Oxley. Single game, San Francisco 10, St. Louis 5. From that known, we traded ball players. Beta going to the Cardinals for Sadecki. Willie Mays hits in the 9th inning his 8th home run of the year, 513 of the season. Now Ramos, who has an opportunity to do a most constructive piece of work, taking all over the Yankees leading 4-1. And as he goes to work, he'll just get Jerry Coleman back to work.
Okay, Red. Paul Shaw is going to work, too, as he walks up to home plate. At second base, Marcelino Lopez running for the pinch hitter, Frank Malzone. Nobody out. Shaw the batter, and he's 0 for 3 in this game. Struck out twice and bounced to the shortstop. Shaw got up to a red-hot start last year, had 9 home runs about the middle of June, and never hit any more after that. Ended up with a .224 batting average. Right-hand hitter takes inside from Ramos, and it's ball 1. Shaw came into this ball game hitting at .261. Wears uniform number 42, has a slightly closed stance, fairly straight up and down, holds the bat right on the end. Shaw's only 23 years old as Ramos delivers a curved ball hit on a line, foul down the right field side. 1-1 the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hazy, overcast day here in Southern California, but warm. Very pleasant. Temperature about 66, 68 degrees. Not too much wind. The wind that is blowing blowing from the left to the right corner. 1-1 pitch to Shaw. Strike 2. Got him on the inside corner. He didn't like it. Says something to Marty Springstead. Lopez at second base. And we've got a lot of umpires in the stands here. One thing about this crowd here in Anaheim, they're for the home team, and that's the only club they want to see win. Well, I'll tell you, they really bubble. A fine atmosphere, really, for baseball. Great ballpark, good fans, and a young, hustling ball club. 1-2 delivery. It's popped back just over our heads. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. General manager Fred Haney has gone out and got some veterans with his ball club. He's got Adcock and Seaburn and Malzone and Pearsall, along with Burdette and Stanford. But he's got a lot of youngsters. Shaw, Bogosian, Knopf and Warner and Reichert. So he's got the blend. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball hit on the end of the bat to first baseman Joe Pepitone. Scoops it up, touches first base, and moving over to third is Marcelino Lopez. So Paul Shaw moves the runner to third base. We have one away, and here's Bobby Knopp. Knopp, safe on an error, walked and singled to center to drive in the only run for the Angels. That was back in the fifth inning. Yankees 4, California 1, both teams with 7 hits.
Jerry, is this a fairly familiar area to you? Weren't you stationed on both of your hitches in the Marine Corps outside of this area?
Well, I sure was, Red. I think about 10 miles about southeast, there's a Marine Corps air station called El Toro for the Bull. And I spent time there in 1943 and again in 1952. So I spread it out every 10 years. I missed 1963. Here's the first pitch hit high in the air into short center field. Mantle went back. Now coming in. Now Richardson sensing the situation. Calls for and takes it. Lopez tagging up. The throw not in time. It's a 4-2 ball game. Bobby Knopp gets credit for a sacrifice fly that was fielded by Bobby Richardson. And Richardson sensed this situation. Mantle broke back as Knopp swung and stumbled trying to get in, and Bobby saw this immediately, and he just took off into center field and caught the ball moving toward the outfield. And Lopez made a smart play, realizing that Bobby would have to direct his momentum back to the plate, took off and scored easily. So it's a 4-2 ball game. A fine play by Richardson, a heads-up play by Marcelino Lopez. Knopp driving in the second run of this ball game. It's a 4-2 contest, and here's Jim Fregosi. You don't see many sacrifice flies to the second baseman, but that's just what we had in this one. Fregosi, who has taken one strike, is in there as Ramos delivers again. He swings at this one and misses strike 2. Yanks 4, Angels 2, bottom of the 7th. Ramos in relief of Al Downing. 2 outs. The shortstop, Fregosi, in there, and he's backed off the plate and throws his bat as he goes down out toward the pitcher's mound. That ball was not as bad inside as Fregosi made it appear. He goes into the ball. In other words, he lunges out at the ball. And it was brushing him inside, but he just got out of the way a little bit late. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on. Fregosi, I have to say, is off to a miserable start. He's 0 for 3, came into the game batting at 159, and he has been the best Angels hitter the last 2 years. Pops this one foul and out of play. Ball 1 and strike 2. Sometimes that happens to a ball player for some weirdly unexplained reason. They just get off to a bad start, and Fregosi, let's see, he's been up 85 times. He's got a tough uphill struggle to get back to 250. Chokes up in the bat about 1.5 inches. He's big for a shortstop. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncer to third. Fresh. Nice play. On the line. The long throw is in time. And Fregosi is out of there. Tommy Tresh backing off to the line, well behind third. Throws out Fregosi. So for the Angels, 1 run. 1 hit. No Yankee errors and nobody left. And the score after 7 full, Yankees 4, Angels 2.
Gosh, Uncle Chang, folks, New York sure is a big city. I feel so insignificant.
Howard, my boy, bigness is a state of mind. Show you what I mean? Have a cigar.
Oh, thanks. Wow, it's a White Owl.
White Owl, New Yorker. The big cigar for the big moment.
It looks expensive.
Expensive to make, my boy. The tobacco is aged 2.5 years in wooden cases. Builds up flavor, makes it milder. And for 10 cents, it will make you think big.
Sure is mild. I'm beginning to feel less insignificant.
Keep popping, my boy.
Say, what's that little building over there?
Little building?
That one.
Oh, that little building is the Empire State Building. Keep smoking, you white owl, and it will look like a hole in the ground. Only goes to show you, my boy, there's more to a white owl than just smoke.
Okay, Bob Lee is coming on now, and he's making his 10th appearance for the Angels. The record is 0-1 in the one-loss column. Earned run average 0.95. Bob Lee, and he's big. Roger Maris will lead off for the Yankees, followed by Boyer and Howard. Barber?
Well, I was just thinking, the organist came up with a pretty good musical match then.
With Robert E. Lee?
How can you miss on that one, huh? Well, the full title is Waiting for the Robert E. Lee, and if that is so, Mr. Maris won't have to do that much longer.
Well, I'll say one thing. Robert Dean Lee almost made it. We ought to change his name to... Well, what was E for now? Do you know, Red? I really don't know. What did the E stand for?
Well, Joey, I'll tell you as Single used to say, I'll look it up.
Okay. Here's Maris coming on. 1 for 2. Bob Lee, the fireballer, fires it in there, and Maris pops it up to the shortstop for Gozy. Drifting back on the outfield grass. He's got it. 1 pitch and 1 out. Now here's Boyer. With 1 for 3.
Shortstop.
Bob Lee, 6'3", 230 pounds. Somebody said that he wasn't as fast as he used to be, but on that 1 pitch, you couldn't prove it from here. Looks pretty good. Been around a while. Began his pro career in 1956. 28 years old as Boyer takes outside ball 1. Well, he's had some years for the Angels. In 64, he had a 1.51 earned run average. In 65, 1.92. Major League totals, 1.71. Pretty hard to match. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Boyer. Check swing, bouncing down the first base side, foul. There's one thing about Lee. When he's out there pitching, nobody takes much of a toe hold. Well, 1-1 the count on Boyer. He's the kind of a guy, when he's wild right at your shoulder. And just above your shoulder, if you've looked recently, is your head. And it's guys like this that cause players to move off the plate a little bit. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bob Lee on the mound. Into the windup, the pitch to Boyer is fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dean Chance started the ball game, went 4 innings plus. Jack Sanford came on, pitched 1 inning. Burdette pitched 2. Now here's Bob Lee in the top of the 8th inning with the Yankees leading 4-2. Al Downing sorted for the Yanks, went the first 6 into the 7th, and then Ramus came on in the 7th inning. Lee ready again. The big right-hander. The pitch to Boyer. Low and inside. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lee is the guy who jumped from a Class D league in the New York 10 League, Batavia, to the Angels in 1964. Lee ready once again. The payoff pitch on the way to Boyer. It's hit into center field. Jose Cardinal coming in a little bit to his left. He's got it. 2 down, and that'll bring up Elston Howard. Howard safe on an error, received an intentional pass, and doubled to right center. Scored a run. That was in the 6th inning. Yankees got 2 runs in the 2nd on 2 errors by the Angels. Came up with a run in the 5th. Mantle drove that one in, and then one in the 6th. That one was driven in by Al Downing. Howard takes a strike on the outside corner. The Yankees off to Minnesota right after this ball game. Depart here at 6:15. Arrive in Minnesota around midnight. Curve this time is outside to Howard. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Yankees dropped the first ball game here. And then last night, Ralph Houk's first night back as a manager for the Yankees, they won us 3-1 behind Peterson. Now they lead 4-2 in the 8th. There's a fly ball to straightaway center field. Cardinal backing to the warning track in front of the 406 sign. He's got it. Ball way back there by Ellie Howard. 3 up and 3 down on the score after 7.5. Yankees 4, Angels 2.
Take to the high road. Go with Atlantic. We're driving under the wooden arch at the entrance to the state park. We pass families picnicking and playgrounds filled with laughing children.
Atlantic keeps your car on the go.
Now the quiet forest is all around us. We're almost to the waterfall. And there it is, just as the Indians found it long, long ago, crowned by a halo of rainbow mist. There's the perfect spot for our picnic, just beyond the waterfall in that glade of pine, across that little rope footbridge, to the grassy knoll beside the pool of clear water. Imagine a place like this so close to home. High Road from your Atlantic Red Ball dealer. Drive in for the service that makes the road to everywhere more pleasant.
And keep on the go with Atlantic.
This is New York Yankee baseball. We'll pause for system identification.
This is WOKO Radio, Albany, New York.
And here comes $250,000 on the hook. Rick Reichert coming in to face Pedro Ramos. Reichert 0 for 3. Takes the fastball outside, and it's ball 1. Reichert came into this ball game batting at .329 with 6 homers and 12 RBIs. He can run, he's got power, and he's developing into a pretty good outfielder. He's only 23 years old. A hopper to Boyer, deep in the hole at short. He's got to go. The throw is in time on a close play. Well, the more we see of Boyer at shortstop, the more we've got to say that he's up there with the best of them. That ball was deep and in the hole. A high hopper. Reichert who can run, and he got him by an island.
Right field.
Reichert now is 0 for 4. He's bounced to short 3 times and slid to right the other time. And here comes Jack Warner, who struck out twice and popped up the Pepitone, 0 for 3. Warner, 6 feet, 180 pounds, right-hander. Takes outside, ball 1. Al Downing was getting him on changeup. Looks like he just couldn't hold the gun. He had to go after it. Ramos trying to sidearm it, and Warner says, let's take a look at that baseball. Marty Springstead, for some reason or other, decides that the ball is not usable and throws it out. We got red clay here on the warning track and in the infield and around home plate, and every time the ball hits it, it's allowed to pick up a little dark smudge. Without realizing it, the ball can go pretty dark. Warner takes a strike in the outside corner. 1-1 the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jack Warner with a slightly closed stance. Reminds me a lot of the plate of Sam Neely when he was playing with the Red Sox, White Sox, and the Senators. Check swing foul, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Elston Howard behind the plate. Tresh at third. Boyer at short. Richardson at second. Pepitone at first. In the outfield, White, Mantle, and Maris from left to right. 26,260. Total for the 3-game set, 100,800. All right, Ramos checking Howard into the windup. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Curve ball got the inside corner. Strike 3. And that is strikeout number 1 for Ramos and number 9 for the Yankees. Downing got 8 angles. And now Ramos gets his first. Here's Norm Seaburn. Struck out, double to right, bounced to first. Norm Seaburn, one-time outfielder for the Yankees. Went to Kansas City, then to the Orioles, and now to the Angels. Ramus ready. Delivers. Strike called. 2 outs and nobody on. Salty Parker does the coaching at first base for the Angels, and Del Rice does it at third. And that was just the reverse last year. So Rigney switching his coaching position. There's a drive to right field, a base hit by the veteran Norm Seaborn. A shot over Richardson Pett, and that's his second hit of this game. Line single to right. The second hit off Ramos. A 2-out single by Seaborn, and it looks as though we're going to have a pinch runner. Might be Fernandez. He came in the other day to run for Seaborn. We'll have to wait till we get a look at his number. Jack Hernandez, I believe. We can't catch his number. I think that's what it was, 12. Jack Hernandez has come on to run for Norm Seaborn.
Attention, please. For the Angels, running for Seaborn at first base, number 12, Jackie Hernandez.
That's who it is. Jack Hernandez running for Norm Seaborn. 2 outs. Cardinal Labatta. Cardinal is 2 for 3. Single and a double. Curve, sidearm sweeping curve over the outside corner, strike one. Ramos in relief of Al Downing. Downing, who is 0-3 on the year, has a shot to pick up his first win if Ramos can hold the Angels. We're in the last of the 8th inning. 4-2, Yankees lead. Rennis and Hamilton throwing in the bullpen just in case. Strike is called. A sidearm sinker. Got the corner. 0-2. Well, the wind is about as calm as it can get. Flag almost limp on the flagpole in center field. Overcast sky. Starting to brighten a little bit. Hernandez at first base. Pepitone holding against him. 2 down. A 2-strike count for the right-hand hitting Jose Cardinal. Cardinal stole 37 bases last year. He can run. Ramos delivers, and a curve is outside this time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cardinal was picked up from the San Francisco Giants by the California Angels in the winter of '64. Batted .250 last year. 11 home runs, 57 RBIs. This year he's off to a very bad start. Came into the ballgame batting only a .182, but he's 2 for 3, so that average has moved up somewhat. Now Ramos fidgeting around on the mound. Gets some rosin. Checks Howard. Hernandez moving off first. The pitch to Cardinal is hit over Richardson's head, a base hit. And Hernandez goes to second base and stops. Cardinal coming up with his third base hit. Line single to right field. That's the second hit in a row off Ramos. So the Angels have runners at first and second. A tie run on at first base. Yankees leading 4-2, bottom of the 8th, and here's Bob Rogers, the switch-hitting catcher. Howard is out to talk to Ramos. The infield and outfield straight away for Bob Rogers. It doesn't pull too much unless the ball's not too much on it. Breaking ball into him or a changeup. Hits the ball straight away. So Bob Rogers in there. The pitch is in there also, and it's strike one. Rick Reichert, as we thought, started the inning by grounding out. Warner struck out, and then Seaborn singled and Cardinal singled. Reichert, incidentally, had an 11-game hitting streak on the line, so he may lose that if he doesn't get up again. The 1-strike pitch is hot foul out of play behind the Angel dugout. You know, the new ballparks today, the lower stands are usually completely clear, and the mezzanine and upper deck are recessed more than you'll find in the older ballparks. So there's a lot of expanse below you in that lower deck. Last night we had 42,851. They were all over the place, standing, sitting, any place where they could find a seat. Big crowd last night, and 26,000 here today. Yankees 4, Angels 2. Ramos gets the sign. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Curveball hit hard to right field. Maris right there, and he's got it. That ball was a bullet to Roger Maris as he came in about 10 feet and took it. So for the Angels, no runs on 2 hits and 2 men left in the score. After 8 full innings of play, Yanks 4, California 2.
What's today's sound for the best beer around?
Hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer. Hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer. Good to start with Valentine. Good to stay with Valentine. The flavor's great at the 3-week sign. Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Today's Valentine beer. Big and bright. Crisp and light. Yes, today's Valentine is the greatest ever.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Okay, we move into the top of the 9th inning with the Yankees leading 4-2, and coming on to lead off for the Yankees, Pedro Ramos making one of his infrequent visits to home plate. Ramos, who came on for Al Downing in the 7th inning, now coming to the plate for the first time.
Ramos.
See Pedro. Making his first appearance this year at the plate. Takes a strike right in there from Bob Lee, the big right-hander. Now the 1-strike pitch to, I tell you, it won't get much closer than that. 1-1 the count. That ball just about knocked the helmet off Ramos's head. Woo. 1 ball, 1 strike, top of the 9th. Yankees leading 4-2. Bob Lee, the fireballing right-hander, delivers again. Ramos swings and misses, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, I tell you, something like that will shake you up a little bit. The ball looked like it went through his head. And again, inside, but the plate umpire says, Ramos swung around. The bat came with him. But the plate umpire, Marty Springstead, said that he didn't swing at the ball. It was just the momentum of his body. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Top of the 9th. Lee checking Rogers for the sign. He's got it. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Ramos. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Well, Pedro goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout for Bob Lee since coming on the 8th inning. Now Roy White. White in his first 3 appearances walked. Then he hit into a double play in the 6th inning. So he's 0 for 1. Hits the first pitch hard to right field. Jackie Warner back to the barrier, and it's off the wall. And White is on his way to second base with a stand-up double, and he missed a home run by about 4 feet. In other words, the fence There's a cyclone fence that must be about 10 feet high, and 4 feet to the left of that, the ball hit because to the right of it are the stands, and it drops down to about 4 feet high. So he would have had a home run had he hit the ball 4 feet farther to the right. Just missed a home run. White at second base. First hit of the afternoon for Roy, and here comes Bobby Richardson, who's 2 for 4. Takes outside, ball 1. Hey, White really hit that ball. Missed a home run in height and in width by about 4 feet. That was the first hit off Bob Lee. Now the big right-hander sets, delivers to Ritchie, and White is on his way to third base as Bobby lines a single into center field, and we got a 5-2 ball game. That's the third straight hit for Richardson. A run-producing single, and White comes in to score his second run of the game. Yankees 5, Angels 2. Now here's Mickey. Mickey is 1 for 4. Richardson at first base. White was moving on that last pitch to Richardson. Didn't have to run too hard as Bobby lined the ball into center field for a single. Mantle takes a strike in there. Got the inside corner. Angel infield, drawn up for a possible DP. One away, Bobby at first. Pitch to Mickey, has hit on a fifth. Behind third in foul territory. Moving over there, Shaw. He's under it, he's got it. 2 out, and that'll bring up Joe Pepitone. Lee jammed Mantle, got him on the fifth. He gets the bat around, and fouls out to the third baseman, Paul Shaw. Now here's Joe Pepitone, who's 0 for 4. Slide to right twice. To left once and bounced into a double play. Fastball is low. Ball 1. Bob Lee sets. Checks Richardson. Here's the pitch to Pepe. Swung on a miss. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 9th inning. Yankees 5, Angels 2. Pepitone, who hit a 3-run homer here on Friday night. Standing in there, slight crouch. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul back on the screen. Pepitone flicks his bat at the ball. In other words, it looks as though the bat comes after his hand, but it's alive. It's quick when he moves it. Whenever Joe hits a home run, you're always surprised because he never seems to be swinging hard enough to hit a home run. But he flicks it out, and the ball really takes off when he gets a hold of it. 1-2 pitch. A hopper to second baseman Knox. Over to Tom Satriano, who's in at first base for Norm Sebring. And the side is retired. Play going 4-3. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Score after 8.5. Yanks 5, Angels 2.
Valentine's got the flavor that says, "Hey friend, do it again." Valentine beer. Hey friend, do it again. Valentine beer. Good to start with Valentine. Good to say with Valentine. The flavor's great at the freely sign. Valentine's got the flavor that says, "Hey friend, do it again." Valentine's beer.
If you're not drinking today's Valentine beer, you're missing plenty. Look at that creamy head, that light golden color. Tastes so smooth and easy going down. We've been brewing Valentine beer for 126 years, and today's Valentine, big and bright, crisp and light. Today's Valentine is the greatest ever. 1 glass is enough to make you say, "Hey friend, do it again." Valentine beer.
Last half of the 9th inning, the Yankees leading by 3. It's a 5-2 ball game, and coming on now to bat for Bob Lee, leading off the bottom of the 9th, wonderful Willie Smith. Left-hand hitting outfielder. Smith currently batting .273, 3 for 11. No extra base hits, 2 RBIs. Willie Smith coming on. Face Pedro Ramos here.
Attention, please.
Yanks 5, Angels 2. Final game of the three-game set. Yankees lost the first one 7-4. They won last night behind Chris Peterson 3-1, and they're out in front today 5-2. First pitch, Ramos came on in the seventh. Willie Smith standing in there. Ramos delivered a curve that's in there for a strike. So the Yankees, who had a 4-game losing streak before they won last night, trying to make 2 wins in a row, and I don't believe that this year that's something new. They've had a tough start. Here's the 1-strike pitch to Smith. The ground ball to Richardson at second. He's over. He's got it. To Pepitone. 1 away. Ball was not hit hard. As Smith bounces out to Richardson at second. And now here's Paul Shaw. Shaw was 0 for 4. Struck out twice. Bounced to short and to first. Right-hand hitting third baseman. Facing Ramos. Infield and outfield straight away. Repose is in center field for Mickey Mantle. There's a 1-hopper to Tommy Fresh at third. Over to Pepitone. 2 outs. So the Yankees only 1 out away from their second straight. And now Bobby Knopp comes on. Knopp faced 1 in error. Walked, single to center, hit a sacrifice fly. It's given him both Angel runs. Ralph House, who took over for Johnny Keane late yesterday afternoon, could be sitting on top of a 2-game streak here in a hurry. Ball 1. The fastball is inside to Bobby Knopp. Now Ramos wants a new baseball and gets it. Skies are getting brighter. It's a heavy overcast, although it's pleasant here, 67 degrees, very little wind, but the sun is starting to break through off in the distance. Ramos to Knopp. Fastball is in there, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramos again. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Knopp. Curveball is in there, strike 2. Sweeping sidearm curve. Pedro checking Howard. Knopp standing in there, choked up slightly. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on a line, just foul down the first base side, and Knopp has only half of his bat in his hand. The ball was hit on the end of the bat, and it snapped in 2 and almost went in for extra bases down the right field line. So Bobby Knopp, who's big as infielders go. Knopp, over 6 feet. Weighs 175 to 80 pounds. Gets himself a new bat, puts a little pine tar on it, heads up to home plate. Nobody on, 2 down, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 9th, Yankees leading 5-2. Both teams with 9 hits. The Yankees have 1 error, the Angels have a pair. Ramos to Knopp, a ground ball. Pepitone gets it on a tough hop. Flips over to Pedro, and the ball game is over. The play going from 3-1. 3 up and 3 down for the California Angels here in the bottom of the 9th. And the final score of this ball game, Yankees 5 and the Angels 2. Now for the totals and the highlights, Mr. Red Barber.
Well, Jerry, you get ready for your wrap-up. And the Yankees now, for the first time, a winning streak. 2 straight. And 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And for the Angels, 2 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Downing gets his first win. His record is now 1-3 with the save by Raymond. And Chance, who had 1-2, goes down to his second defeat.
Thank you,
Right?
This Yankee baseball broadcast has been brought to you by P. Ballantyne and Sons, with a friendly reminder to visit the friendliest place in town soon, your neighborhood tavern. There's no better place to enjoy good food, good fellowship, and ice-cold Ballantyne beer. Just drop into your favorite tavern and say, "Hey, friend, do it again, Valentine beer." And by White Owl Cigars. White Owl, made from case-aged tobaccos for extra flavor and mildness. Remember, there's more to a White Owl than just smoke. And by Tiparillo, with flavor you don't have to inhale to enjoy. And by Atlantic and your Atlantic dealers. Just see what's going on at your favorite Atlantic station. That new modern sign out front is only one of the exciting changes. Drive in and get acquainted with the lively new look of Atlantic. This is the Home of Champions Network.